the data, because I see it sending to the data.
Huh.
Or to YouTube. There it goes. All right, we got it.
You got it? Okay. I won't lie. Whenever I see anime Fred Durst, I just literally imagine Fred Durst being behind the computer talking to us. So, okay, YouTube should be live. Yes, YouTube is live. All right, get back in the kitchen, sir.
Ooh, polite. How polite to get back in the kitchen. All right. So let us start by making our roux. I have a recipe that is in the YouTube description, and it is also pinned in the Twitch comments. I will say, if you are on YouTube, this is the last time I am going to be putting the cooking stream onto the GG Monte Cristo YouTube. From now on, the live stream is going to go on where it should go, which is the Continue Cooking channel, which is youtube.com/@Continue Cooking. So please still go subscribe to that channel if you want to watch this. I'm not going to bombard people who have spent 10 years, more than 10 years, watching gaming content on my normal channel to have to deal with the cooking content. I will be streaming gaming content, however, onto that YouTube channel. So that will continue at some point once we get kind of everything under control here with the cooking stream, which it feels like we're getting closer to, although every day there's now a new problem.
Well, we have an audio issue fan, Eric 101101101101 has subscribed again.
Thank you.
8 months.
Thank you for your subscription.
Thank you. Apparently, he's contributing to our audio fund.
The audio should be fine, guys. Also, I know we had some crackling occasionally on the last stream. I do believe that was a noise gate issue because I'm trying to keep the room tone down. I have adjusted the noise gate settings, so if it is better, please let me know. If you hear crackling, please say something so that I am aware to continue to fiddle with that. We could turn the gates off, but I would just prefer not to do that. So let us start with the curry roux here. So what we're going to do is we need some unsalted butter, right? So I have a block of that here. We need some flour. So this is just regular white all-purpose flour. Can we get the top
One
down?
moment.
So I'm going to show you all of these ingredients individually, which should also help our editors. I'm sure they will be grateful for this. So these are the ingredients we're going to be using to make the roux. It is unsalted butter, as you can see right here. European style. Premium butter, unsalted. This is all-purpose flour. I know it's in Korean. I live in Korea. But you can see it says all-purpose flour here. This is regular flour. We're going to use some garam masala, which is an Indian spice mix that's frequently used in Indian curries. It contains a lot of stuff: cardamom, cinnamon, cloves, cumin, black pepper, and coriander. So it's pretty rich in terms of its flavor. We are going to be making it spicier with some cayenne pepper. We're only going to use a little bit because my wife doesn't like things too spicy, even though I like them very spicy. You don't have to have any cayenne pepper if you do not want it. That's totally an option you can have. And this is going to be the curry powder we're going to be using. This is S&B Oriental curry powder. This is Japanese curry powder. And obviously curry powders come in many varieties. There are different spice blends. You can make your own spice blend if you like. But this is the easiest one. This is kind of the quintessential Japanese curry powder. You can just use any curry powder. It's not going to matter super much. I used an Indian curry powder last time I made this. Turned out great. This company, S&B, is also the same company that makes the golden pre-made curry cubes. So it's the same company. It'll be a similar flavor. She's adjusting the lights. Oh, thank you. I actually didn't even put up our normal light today, which I will do right now. It's a mess today, guys. It's a mess. It'll take me 2 seconds to do this, don't worry. But we should have the proper lighting for this.
Oh, Christopher.
Oh, Christopher. Always not putting up the lights when you should be putting up the lights.
And moving, shifting cameras around. Oh, Christopher.
That's me.
But yeah, Funky Pharaoh. I changed camera 1 for you today to see if
Wow.
this is better.
You're doing personal favors for our viewers.
I did it so that camera 1 you can see the cutting board and all the stuff there.
There we go. That should provide some more light.
But then by doing that, it makes Monty a lot smaller. I don't know if that bothers you guys or not. I'm playing around with the camera angles here.
Okay, hold up, guys. Just gonna adjust this camera now. Trying to get you a better angle of the cutting board because we're gonna be showing off some Japanese knife techniques today, which will be important to actually see. Okay, we're lit now. It's lit in here. That's what the kids say, right? Susie's cringing. You chose this, Susie.
I did.
You chose this. I'm actually going to get out some more butter here because I'm going to make double curry powder. So because I hate making roux, and so I have an opportunity to go ahead and just double this because I'm going to use most of the curry powder in it. You will use most of the curry powder in the single recipe here. So if you want a little bit more, you should double it, basically. But this recipe for the curry roux, thank you. This recipe for the curry roux,
Keep talking.
good luck with that. Nice. She's just adjusting one of the cameras. This recipe for the curry roux and for the curry and for the Sunomono, all of these come from the website justonecookbook.com. It's an excellent resource for Japanese recipes. So I don't want to take credit for that. These are not my recipes that we're using. But I have modified them in order to make the Katsu curry specifically. So if you want to follow along step by step with me, that's fine. Otherwise, you can go to Just One Cookbook and follow along with the recipes over there. Very good site. Would recommend 100%. Because of the volume of recipes we are going to be making on this channel, there will probably be upwards of 200 recipes a year. We are going to be leaning on established recipes a lot of the time. Sometimes you'll get ones that I have created. Sometimes I will source them and let you guys know where they come from. But that's what we're going to be making today. So shout out to Just One Cookbook. Excellent. So basically we're going to start here and I'm going to start measuring out the butter. So I need to tear my scale. I'll let you guys see it. So it's at 0 right now. Usually you want to use 100 grams or 3.5 ounces of unsalted butter, but because I'm going to try and make double this, I'm probably going to want 200 grams. I'm at 162 right now. I have some frozen butter, so I guess I'm going to have to try and shave some of this awkwardly because I did not thaw it in advance.
Scott's Timo has been following you for 10 years and
Wow.
19 days.
Thank you.
And Kimmy Rhythm, you've been following for 9 years and 9 days. Holy moly.
You guys having a competition. I hope
They
you
are.
like the new stream content. I know it's very different
wait.
from what you probably
I
follow
wonder what
me
my
for.
followage is.
It's not about you.
foliage.
It's
No,
not-
it is about me. I spelled foliage. Whoops. Eric has been following Eric, the 10101
Yes.
guy.
Binary
10 years.
Eric.
Binary Eric has 10 years, 29 days. I've only been following you for 8 years, 11 months.
Pathetic, if you ask me.
I know.
As
Our
we-
relationship has been longer than that.
All right, so I have 197 grams right now. Is that close enough? Should I try and add 3 more grams?
Yes.
Oh, I did it. So I shaved off some of the frozen butter. We should always measure this part of it, especially because we're going to be using flour, and you always want to measure your flour, always. Because the thing about cups and flour, or measuring it by volume, is that it will be wrong because the flour could be more densely packed. It could be slightly different in terms of its size and the grind. And it's just really dumb because you're going to come out with wildly different amounts of flour. People try and solve this by saying, sift your flour. But that's just a stupid, unnecessary step. Why should you have to sift your flour? Just weigh it, idiot.
Aw. Binary Eric says you were basically his online dad.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, God, how old are you, Eric? Are you like 20?
How'd that turn out for you, by the way? Did I raise you well? This is important to my current life of having actual kids.
You didn't tell me you had other kids.
I have online kids.
Oh, you have a bunch of online kids.
Apparently. Did you turn out okay, Binary Eric?
I hope so.
Are you a well-adjusted individual?
Do you own a hype train whistle? CUZX said, bro, WTF happened? Is this what the LCK studio looks like now?
Kind of. We have an OGN producer who's been helping us. Okay, so we have a lot of butter here. You may be asking yourself, what is a roux? A roux is a mix of a fat and flour, and the purpose behind the roux is to give body as well as to impart flavor to a dish. You will find this in this particular Japanese curry, but also a variety of French sauces. Real mac and cheese that you make at home, you'll create a roux first. Cajun food, gumbo, based in a roux. Gumbo is very annoying to make because it requires a dark brown roux, which means that you really have to stir this thing for like 45 minutes. But once you get that done, gumbo obviously delicious. And Cajun food comes partially from, of course, French cooking, which is where the roux originally comes from. So it's interesting that we use kind of a French cooking technique here to start our curry, but it is going to impart quite a bit of flavor. The thing about roux is that we want to make sure that the flour gets toasted. Effectively, we are trying to brown the flour so that it has a depth of flavor and doesn't burn. And that's going to be the key thing about the roux, which is why, to make this roux, we are going to be using a large cast iron pan. Now, you should probably use a smaller cast iron pan. This is a 12-inch large cast iron pan. But in this particular instance...
Show us on camera 3.
In this particular instance, this is the smallest cast iron pan that I currently own in Korea. So I'm going to be doubling the recipe. But the reason why you might want to use it smaller in size is that if you do just the 100 grams instead of the 200 grams where I'm doubling it, you are going to have a very thinly spread roux, which will probably increase the risk of it burning. And if it burns or scorches, you're donezo. It's over. You have to do it again.
It's like baking.
Yeah, which I hate. So it's just over. You're going to have to redo it. It will have a burnt flavor to your dish. It is horrible. Now, the reason why we're using a cast iron pan for this, you can use any pan. You can use a stainless steel pan. You can use a nonstick pan. The reason why we recommend to use a cast iron pan, a heavy bottom pan, is because the heating will be very even and the heat retention will be there at low. So basically it will maintain an even temperature and doesn't have hot spots, which will lower the chance that we're actually going to burn this. I can pretty much do this in anything because I'm going to be standing there staring at it for 20 minutes. You have to pay attention to it most of the time, but sometimes people don't stare at it for 20 minutes, which means that it becomes easier to burn. So I would recommend cast iron for this. That is typically what people will use in this scenario.
So our adopted son says he is a outstanding citizen.
Great.
Who reads Percival.
That is the key qualification in life.
That's a key qualification to life. Got it.
So we are going to start this. Let's measure out our flour first, just so we have kind of everything going here. The first step is just going to be making this roux, which is just going to take forever. So we will have lots of chat interaction for the next while.
Hey, if I've learned anything from esports casting, it's how to fill time.
That's right. It's the most valuable skill.
It is
Well, you have audio, but if you have audio problems, you can't fill time. That's what I've learned. So usually a roux is going to use matching weights of flour and fat. So that fat is typically going to be butter, but not always. So we're going to do 200 grams of the butter and approximately 200 grams. I hit 207. Sorry, guys. Fail. Cooking fail.
207?
Cooking fail.
How dare you? How dare you?
206. So first off, we're going to start with melting the butter. I'm going to turn this on to low.
Chidori-sen says, "This is mad professional."
Yes.
It is. And welcome to our chat.
This is, by the way, by far the most advanced cooking setup on Twitch. It is ridiculous. I basically turned our kitchen into a studio, which my wife loves. And by the way, guys, we're recording all 4 cameras at the same time, so the editors will have access to the complete stream of all 4 cameras. That will then get edited down into YouTube videos, which will go on the Continue Cooking YouTube channel, youtube.com/@continuecooking. And then we'll also be making like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. We'll be ticking the talk.
I mean, to be fair, this was the way for me to get you to buy me the iPhone 16. Because I said I will volunteer it as camera 3. And so I got a new phone out of it. Woo-hoo.
Susie Kim, so selfless. All right, here we go. Let's get the stove cam. It's honestly just amazing that we have, when in the last few years, the technology to do this kind of stream has basically evolved, and I had to do a lot of research to figure it out. But it is amazing we can even do this.
So all that butter.
Looking good. So we don't want to brown the butter. We are trying to melt the butter. In fact, I'm going to turn this down even more. I start to get afraid for my roux. I don't want to waste all this butter. Remember, we can always turn it up later.
Have you watched the show Slow Horses on Apple TV?
Yes. It's crap. So I love Gary Oldman, and I think the concept of Slow Horses is very good, but it has the scope creep problem where it turns from what could potentially be a very interesting show about these kind of loser contributors to British intelligence into, oh my God, we have to save the world and the competent agents can't do anything. So I don't know. I thought it became too epic and implausible really fast. And I say this as somebody who loves like British intelligence dramas. Like I adore like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, these kind of movies. So we're going to go ahead and melt our butter right now. We have to wait for the butter to be completely melted. And then we're going to slowly introduce the flour. Yeah, I might have turned it down too much.
You guys ask if he's seen all these like shows as if like he has a lot of time to do this. We watch the stuff that he needs for his shows. So we watch a lot of movies for foreplay. We watch a lot of shows for the show that he does with Doa.
Nerd Legion.
Nerd Legion. And then every once in a while, we'll be able to watch something that's not.
Although I've been watching just a lot of movies recently. We watched Enter the Dragon last night. That was great.
Yeah, for the first time too.
And I've seen a lot of martial arts movies, and I know it sounds crazy to say that I had never seen Enter the Dragon, but I hadn't. It was awesome. Loved it. But we watched Conclave the other night.
We watched it like right as they announced that the Pope died. Like,
speaking of, I read an article that said that Conclave streaming went up 700% after Pope Francis died.
Oh, I bet.
So people are curious about the process of selecting the new Pope.
I watched Mickey 17 a few weeks. I actually really liked that.
We went to the theater to watch Mickey 17.
Yeah, I thought it was super cute. And my God, I am always amazed at how good of an actor Robert Pattinson is.
Yeah, he was great. He was the best part of the movie, easily. I think the movie is very confused in terms of its messaging. But...
Sure.
So we have this on low right now. And I hope you guys like the stirring cam. We probably just don't have to watch the stirring cam. It is basically, this is just very slowly going to darken.
You don't want them to watch this?
We can come check on it.
All right, I'll go back to you.
While.
Camera 1, back to you. Back to you, mister.
Yep.
Stirring is so mesmerizing. Yeah, it's true.
So we really don't want this to burn. So you're going to be... Actually, we can go back to the stirring can quickly. I lied. I'm going to show you how to stir this.
Wadswoody says he misses your League content.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Not
There'll be
as
more
good.
gaming content soon, though. I got a lot of plans. So basically, we don't want this to burn or to cook too quickly. So I'm turning it down to very low now that the pan is kind of heated up. I may have to move it to a different burner because this burner is kind of hot. But we want to be constantly stirring it, constantly getting the flour off the bottom so that it doesn't burn. I'm actually really scared this is going to burn.
Move it. Do you need your gloves?
No, it's okay. I have oven mitts down here. I don't think I need to move it, guys. It's okay. I'm just going to stir it. It shouldn't burn as long as I keep stirring it. But as you can see, we really want to keep scraping it. It is It's the bubbling. It's bubbling quite a bit, which is scaring me because the burner's right in the middle there. So I know I said that cast iron doesn't have hot spots, but it'll have a little bit of a hot spot right under the burner. And
yeah, I liked Mark Ruffalo and his stupid teeth. They made him wear those.
It was a great cast. The problem wasn't the cast or the acting. It's just that I was really interested in the sci-fi story and the ethical implications of the Mickey character and reviving him. But by the end, it basically turned into... Bong Joon-ho loves the theme of class conflict, which is... He really nailed it, I think, with Parasite. But he tried to do the class conflict plus modern politics plus environmentalism with the aliens all at the same time. And it got really weird by the end because he couldn't focus on which theme he wanted to explore. And so the entire sci-fi theme of the ethics of Mickey kind of just got dropped out of the second half of the movie. And then it didn't get replaced with one cohesive theme. It just got kind of replaced with a mess.
Yeah. But it was cute overall.
It was okay.
4 Horsemen on tariffs. When?
You know what's funny is, like, depending on the Nintendo stuff and how that affects esports, it might actually be necessary. We'll see.
I can't believe the Switch 2 is as expensive as it is.
That's inflation. Yeah, $450 for a Nintendo console is pretty steep. It's like into PS5 territory.
Yeah,
now.
it's...
But it is a lot more powerful. I mean, and it'll be... I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll probably be worth it.
Are we getting one?
Probably. We have a kid who will want to play Mario Kart, most likely.
That is true.
That's how they get you, Susie.
He loves Mario Kart. There's a kids cafe near our home that is like half run around jungle gym, all sorts of stuff, but they also have video games and they have Minecraft and they have Mario Kart where you actually sit in these little kid cars with the steering wheel and a big screen, and so it's like you're driving. And every time we go there, Max probably spends, I don't know, a third of his time just playing Mario Kart. And the only time he leaves is because another kid wants that spot.
This is a stirring screen.
It is.
Again, you do not have to do this. You can buy the Japanese pre-made curry blocks, and they will be fine. They will contain salt, though. I try and minimize salt as much as I can in terms of... Because I just prefer to add my own salt, basically. We are going to be using chicken stock for this. I have made my own chicken stock.
Are you tapping into the salt stash of the KT fans? I didn't know you were doing that.
I've been holding the TSM salt for years, just for this moment. It's more delicious. But I have made my own chicken stock from some rotisserie chickens, and it does not have salt in it either. So I will be adding much more salt than you probably will if you have even store-bought low-sodium chicken stock, and especially if you're using the Golden or another brand of Japanese curry tablets.
Oh, Golden tablets. I grew up on those.
Yeah, they're good. There's nothing wrong with them, by the way, guys. I'm just trying to show you how to do this from scratch. You don't have to put in the effort of creating a roux. Although it is boring, but learning how to make a roux is a very useful skill for other kinds of cooking.
Cyber Shincy. It's Shin XY. First time in the chat. Welcome to our chat. Monty, I've been a huge fan since the early Overwatch days.
Nice.
Casting is just not the same without you.
Yeah, I'm sad about what happened to Overwatch. But now we can all enjoy stirring streams together.
I mean, this is just about as exciting as that meta with all the shields.
Yeah, goats meta.
The goats meta.
This is basically as exciting as goats.
Aw, good times. Good times. Costco chickens are perfect for chicken stock.
Yes, that's what we use them for. We get the rotisserie chickens, and then we use the meat for a variety of things. We'll probably have a few streams of what can you do with rotisserie chickens at some point in time.
Oh, that chili that you make.
Yeah,
Yes.
The chicken chili is quite good. We'll probably do some streams on that at some point in time, just so you guys know. But we will freeze the skin and bones from those until we have sufficient quantities and we need more chicken stock. Because the thing is, I can't buy chicken stock here in Korea very easily. It's just not something that's available. So you either have to use bouillon, or what I prefer to use is better than bouillon, which is a paste, which is excellent, by the way. Again, perfectly fine to use. And then I just make my own stock as well. And then I'll make like 10 liters of it, and then I will freeze it in 1 liter portions. And so that's what we're going to be using today, is some stock I made a couple months ago that I've frozen. So the idea behind this roux, guys, is that it is slowly going to be darkening in color. And we don't, there's several kinds, there's several depths of darkness, from brick, which is kind of a brown reddish color as you get further along, to a dark brown roux. If you're making mac and cheese, you kind of just want a light roux. We're going to be hitting kind of the midway point of roux creation. So we do want it to be more or less a light brown. And this is just basically toasting the flour and incorporating it into the fat, in this case the butter. So we'll end up with kind of a nutty tasting butter. And this may seem unnecessary, but this is like the core of the dish, and you lose a lot of depth of flavor without having the roux properly made.
I will say, watching this being stirred, it's like one of those Japanese relaxing, calm, like, what is it? When they go to the gardens and they draw in the sand?
Zen.
Yeah. That's kind of what it feels like.
Kind of zen.
It's very zen. October is now following.
Wow.
Welcome.
You're not even a real month.
October. This is really relaxing, actually. It looks like cake batter.
Yeah. The annoying thing about roux is you can't really taste them as you go along, because it's fat and oil, or
oil.
That
sounds delicious. What are you talking about?
It's really hot. You will burn yourself. If I stuck my finger in there to get a taste, I would just burn myself.
Sting says, can we just make this a whole 2-hour video?
Actually, that's the gumbo stream, guys, because you think this is boring. Just wait till I make gumbo, and we have to do this for twice as long. This is just a medium length roux stream.
All right, I'm going to go back to 1.
All right.
You can dance for them while you stir. There he is, drinking his coffee, stirring the roux.
If I burn this at the end, I'm going to be so mad.
It's like a nice sound, too.
If I was a better streamer, I would just burn this at the end purely for comedy reasons. Do it for the clips.
Oh, Kimmy Rhythm. It's It's definitely coffee. We have 2 kids. We live on coffee. Coffee runs through your veins. It sounds nice.
Yeah, the scraping of the wooden spoon against the cast iron, delightful. You can make spirals.
Ooh. Is that your attempt at a spiral?
No, I could do a better spiral. Ooh, actually, it's Japanese, so it's uzumaki.
Oh, uzumaki. Where is the katsu? Did you blend it and you're stirring it for hours? Okay, for those of you who have now joined us, why don't you let them know what it is that you are stirring?
This is a roux. We're making the Japanese curry cubes from scratch. So we have to make a roux first, guys, which is us toasting this flour and butter very, very slowly and constantly stirring it so it doesn't burn and ruin. I'm sorry, this is definitely the most boring part of this stream.
What are you talking about? This is the best part of the stream.
This is the ASMR part.
Yeah. It smells great. It's starting to smell buttery. Toasted buttery. Wow, you have a lot of people who've been following you for over 10 years.
It's the hardcore fans who stay for the cooking stream. Thank you very much, guys.
Blabooer. 10 years. And then there was someone else I didn't call out. Hold on. Let me scroll back.
I like how the latest audio problem was solved just by restarting the PC, as if that's a logical thing that...
Yes. It's always the answer. Unplug and replug.
Yep. Well, it was just weird because I could see the audio levels coming through, and I could play music onto the stream just fine, but it wasn't picking up the audio from the mics that I could see the levels on. It was definitely one of the weirder problems I've had, but at least it was easily solved somewhat.
Oh, wow. Nicole, you've been here for 10 years, 23
Wow.
days, too. My God.
All right, somebody better subscribe or I'm going to burn this roux. And then we're going to start over.
Quick!
Drop that prime.
Cyber Shiny. I want to say shiny with an X. You've been following for 22 minutes. All right. Well, welcome anyway. That's great. We're really happy to have you.
Yeah, hopefully we get some new people.
Oh, yeah. Bruce Vane was the other one. 10 years, 10 days.
Bruce Vane is a really good name.
Everyone wants more stirring. Don't threaten us with a good time.
Let's make a 24-hour roux stream.
Yeah, hey, starting over sounds nice. Let's do it again.
The roux marathon stream. I've threatened my wife to do a meal prep marathon stream, like a 24-hour long stream where I just meal prep and make
Yeah, go ahead.
and make a ton of stuff to freeze.
I mean, we can. I just don't know logistically how we're going to do that with the kids.
We'll send them to your mom's house.
Oh, it's Shinx. It's Shinxie, Cyber Shinxie, like the Pokemon. Got it.
And I'll let you sleep. So while you're sleeping, I'll be the producer as well. Just move it. I can do it. It doesn't matter if it's scuffed.
You don't actually need me. You just
Oh, I need you, baby.
you just talk to yourself for 24 hours.
Well, that would be part of the fun, I think. It's just me getting more and more unhinged as I make, 50 breakfast burritos to freeze.
I need that. Are you using a pan for surface area?
What do you mean?
Oh, no, that was the question.
Yes, you want to use a pan. I doubled the amount of roux that I'm making, so you probably don't want to use one that's quite this large. If you're doing, I would probably use, an 8-inch or a 10-inch pan. This is a 12-inch pan. Because otherwise, if you get too thin, you run the risk of it increases the chance that it could burn.
Tactical Goat, first time in chat, but has been following you for 10 years and 30 days.
Wow, how did you not chat in a decade? You're very restrained, Tactical Goat.
Roux subathon, more subs, more roux.
That would actually be funny. My arm would get very tired.
Are you going to use the gimbal again for the 24-hour stream? Oh my god, another one. LXK Walk, first time in chat, has been following you for 10 years and 23 days.
Wow.
Everyone that's been following has all seemed to have done so in April as well. Yeah, that's true. What was it 10 years ago in April?
Maybe that's when I started streaming.
I don't remember.
That might have actually been the MSI streams we did that year when we didn't go to MSI in 2015. I bet that was it. When we chose not to go to MSI and we were just doing VOD reviews, me and Doa and Papa and all of our guests.
Was that the year oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's
probably when you guys all...
I was the Twitch chat person for that stream as well. When we had people over on the couch.
Yeah, the couch stream. The casting couch.
Classic Berg, first time in chat, 5 years, 2 months. Wow, you guys are...
That's an Overwatch person.
Did Monty marry his mod? Yes.
Okay, as you can see, the roux is slowly getting darker in color here, which is what we want. It has subtly changed from a more golden color that we started with to a more like, I would say, light mocha color now. So it's coming along.
So on YouTube, crazy Mr. BC says, while you're doing this and it feels slow, it can be done with everything else while it's simmering?
No, you'll burn it. You have to stir it. You don't have to stir it as much as I am stirring it. I am doing this because I am just really trying not to burn it. Look, you can live dangerously if you want. That's your choice. You guys can live as dangerously as you want with your roux. But if it burns, it will taste like shit. So
yeah, I don't see a change in the color either, but...
You don't?
No.
It's changing color.
It looks like a deep, like a French vanilla ice cream.
It's changing color. We'll get there. It may be changing color more slowly because I might be stirring it too much right now.
Ooh, Kimmy Rhythm said there's a hands-free method, America's Test Kitchen.
Oh, yeah?
Has you do it, where you do it in the oven.
Oh.
But we don't have an oven.
We do have an oven, sort of. I'll try that. I actually am a subscriber to America's Test Kitchen, so I'll take a look at that. Thank you.
It looks like custard now.
Yeah, it has changed color. Susie, the editor time lapse will show the truth of the color change.
Okay. Yeah, now it looks like pancake mixture, cake batter.
Because the thing is, if you let it sit for a moment, it's going to cook just a little bit more, but obviously then you increase the risk of the burnination. But it is starting. I can see you guys may not be able to see on the camera, but there are little bits in here that are starting to turn a darker brown.
Delph2135 asks,
this.
what is a katsu?
It's Tonkatsu, which is a breaded pork cutlet. I am sure you have seen it or eaten it. You may have had chicken katsu instead, but we have pork cutlets that we are going to be frying.
Oh, okay. Crazy Mr. BC meant you stir while other ingredients are cooking. So everything else is simmering.
No,
And then
because
do
we need
this,
this
but-
first, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you think you can air fry this?
Maybe. I mean, air fry is just an oven.
Exactly.
An air fryer is simply a small convection oven. I am showing you traditional roux technique, though.
Is it similar to a schnitzel?
Yes. In that it is a pounded, breaded, deep-fried piece of meat.
Was the katsu inspired by the German schnitzel?
I have no idea, honestly. I think many people have come up with the idea of frying things in oil, so...
But yes, is that a roux? Yes, it is a roux. We are how many minutes into this roux stream?
I don't know.
Like 40?
No.
Oh, because you were chatting for maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes probably. We're getting close.
Recommend me more pastes, please, says October. What kind of pastes are you asking for?
I don't know what that means.
The stream ends when the roux is done.
That's it. That's just our roux stream.
I don't know. What kind of pastes are you, oh, like better than bouillon,
Oh, better than bouillon.
stuff like that.
Thai curry paste. May ploy, always good. I don't really see the need. I mean, I probably will make Thai curry paste from scratch at some point on this stream, but it's kind of unnecessary. I think most Thai curry pastes are pretty good, and it means that you don't have to get weird Thai ingredients like galangal.
Luckily, there's a area here that's close to our house that has a good Thai supermarkets. Mm-hmm. If you're in LA, Thai Town is incredible.
Yeah, Little Thailand's great. I used to go to supermarkets there to buy Thai ingredients.
Okay, rewinding the YouTube stream, he puts the butter in the skillet 27 minutes ago.
Well, that's not the stirring part, though. The point
That's the butter
the
melting
butter
part.
melting part. What we really need is when the flour goes in part, because that's the important part.
Well, whatever. It's been about 27 minutes.
Yeah. We're getting some decent color on this now.
Beef Wellington stream when?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I'm sure that'll happen at some point in time. That'll be the epic fail stream where I mess it up.
Sting, what are you talking about? This is a stir stream, which means it's all talking. And so you have more subtitles to put in.
Well, this part is just going to be edited in time lapse, I'm sure. And my spoon will just be going...
Something, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's some artifacting on the left of the stove cam.
Really?
What's that mean?
Okay, well, I'm not seeing it in the camera here. Could be an encoding issue. It could be that the granite that we have on the walls is so busy, the stone right here, that it's causing the camera to freak out.
I don't know what artifacting means.
It's that defunct Dota card game, Artifact. There are Dota cards on my stream?
It's right on the edge. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Where is it? Over here?
Yeah, I think it's the back panel. that's making the camera freak out.
Could be making the encoder freak out.
Yeah. Oh, weird glitches. Man, you guys are... Yeah. I'm telling you,
Enhance.
Let's get a... I want to get a splash pad for the back. I'm going to buy you one.
I don't want that. And I'm not going to use it. So do what you will with that information.
Why not? Are you... Whoa. Zoom in.
I just ruined the time lapse for our editors, by the way, by moving the camera.
You sure did.
So it's becoming kind of a light caramel color now.
Okay, apparently the YouTube stream was okay. It was the Twitch stream that's weird.
Thanks, Twitch.
Yeah, so now you just ruined it, but... Ruined.
I'm sure the raw files were actually fine from the camera, because the camera wasn't outputting that information, because I can't see it over here.
It was totally fine, Christopher. You didn't need to move the camera.
Well, now we get a more intimate Ruse stream.
We do. This is to darken the flour, yes, and we do this also to keep everything even and not to burn.
Yes, we are effectively cooking the flour within the butter. And we're getting a nice toasty wheat, which is going to greatly enhance the flavor of this dish.
Funky Pharaoh says, you ruined it.
You'll rue the day you made that joke, Funky Pharaoh. So we're kind of going for a golden brown. Like I said, 20 minutes is a rough time. We are getting very close now. Hopefully the color is kind of coming through. It looks kind of different on the phone than it does for me, from what I can see here.
How rude.
It looks
Lol.
it looks more yellow on the phone and the camera than it does
In real life?
in real life, where it's kind of more of a light mocha color now.
Ooh. I love all your rude jokes, guys. Is browning a roux or caramelizing onions more meditative?
The roux. You can kind of leave the onions alone more than this. Where I'm probably being overly paranoid right now, but I really just don't want to do this again ever. But especially while you're watching me, because I don't want to show you my shame. You will not see my shame. Although the shame will inevitably come, because guys, there are going to be so many recipes on this stream that we are going to start doing stuff. I'm going to have to start first time cooking stuff. Probably some complicated things or dishes that I've never made before. Like, for example, I've never made Ethiopian food, but somebody was asking about injera the other day. I will go ahead and first time Ethiopian food on stream. Will it be a disaster? Probably.
But will it be good content?
Yes.
That's all that matters.
See, the thing is I really should just NASCAR this stream where just realize everybody's just watching for the car crashes, right? My kitchen to catch on fire.
Makes halongtang from scratch? You want to watch...
You do not want to... I have a ton of solongtang I've made from scratch in the freezer right now. But if you thought this stream was boring...
You want 15 hours of...
15 hours of a boiling pot with bones in it? The thing is, solongtang is very easy to make. It just takes a long time.
Yeah, he makes 15 liters of it at a time.
And then I freeze it in 1 liter bags.
Which, we should have some for dinner tonight.
Definitely possible. All right, somebody who's on the YouTube, go back and tell me how much the color has changed for you guys, because it looks pretty different now than when I started.
Yeah, it's definitely more, well, on the stream, it looks more yellow.
Yeah, it looks more, I'm looking at the camera here, and it looks more brown for me. Have there been any audio issues yet, guys?
It's more...
Has it been cutting off at all, or it has been robotic or staticky at any point in time? I think I fixed the audio problems.
Are you questioning audio gods right now?
I think I fixed it.
Bruce Vane says, no, it's good. No static. It's very scrapey.
Good. I think the sound of wooden spoon on cast iron is a very nice sound.
I think all we needed to do last time was just reset, unplug, and replug.
It was a noise gate issue. I know what the problem was last time. It was only occasionally an issue.
I meant the time before. We just had to unplug and replug. I don't know if you've answered this question yet, but do you season your iron pan?
Most pans come pre-seasoned, but when I wash it, typically I'll just give it a very light coating of oil. Pans will season with use.
All right, YouTube says it's changed quite a bit in color.
Excellent.
The consistency and smoothness is very noticeable.
Yes, the smoothness, it's going to get smoother over time too. And that's one of the things too, is that if you get it off, if you get the roux off too early, you don't have to cook it this long, by the way, but part of it is that you want to have the consistency of the butter and the flour, but you don't want it to be like chalky in your mouth with flour texture, because that's gross.
The flour was added 32 minutes ago.
Oh, we've done pretty well. All right, I think this is done. I'm calling it, guys.
You're gonna call it?
I'm calling it. I'm calling this roux good. It does look like kind of a light brown for me right now. It does look kind of more of a golden color for you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the spices in while the heat is still on. So I'm looking around for my...
What do you need?
Spoons. Hold up. Measuring spoons. Okay, so if you have the... I'm making a double batch, so if you're making the single batch of 100 grams of butter, or 3.5 ounces of butter, and 100 grams of flour, or 3.5 ounces of flour, rather, you're going to use 4 tablespoons of curry powder. I'm going to use 8, which is a half a cup. Well, I'm just actually going to get a half cup, because I don't feel like measuring out 8.
No, don't stop stirring.
Ah! Half a cup, here we go. Okay, there's about half a cup of the curry powder. I'm gonna stir that in. I'm also gonna, if you're making the normal amount, and you wanna make it a little bit spicy, add half a teaspoon of cayenne powder. Because I'm doubling this, I'm gonna add close to a full teaspoon here. The reason why we're adding the spices now, and we're going to add them very briefly over heat, is that curry powder and curry spices in general, as you may know from Indian cooking, do very well when they're toasted a little bit. It's called, in Indian cooking, you use whole spices. So you'd use like whole cumin seeds or cardamom pods. And you do what's called tempering them, which is when you heat them in oil prior to cooking the rest of your food in that oil. Or I guess it's most likely ghee, just clarified butter if you're making Indian food. So similar principle here, is we do want to activate these spices a little bit. I am also going to add the garam masala now, which will be, again, 1 tablespoon of garam masala. If you're doing the normal version, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons because I am doubling the recipe. And what cooking this slightly is going to do is start to activate those spices. Should smell great, especially when I add this garam masala. Because the garam masala has cinnamon, cloves in it, baking spices.
Can you guys smell that?
Use your smell-o-vision. So we don't need to cook this very long, just, a minute or so. Keep the heat on. I'm going to turn the heat off now.
That roux is much darker now, yes.
Well, now it has the curry in it, yeah. So this is going to be the base of our curry.
The recipe has been pinned in Monty's Twitter.
And a Twitch chat. And it's in the description of the YouTube channel, guys. You have no excuses.
There you go. Go to the descriptions on the YouTube channel.
So interesting thing about Japanese curry is that it came from the British.
What's the white stuff on the side of the pan?
Uncooked roux.
Oh, uncooked roux. There you go. Now you guys can see the color difference.
It's just roux that got stuck to the side of the pan that I didn't scrape off.
Smells like curry.
Okay. So, here's...
It's not pinned on Twitch.
Oh, it must have gotten eliminated when...
We
sorry,
restarted.
guys. When we restarted. I shall pin it on Twitch for you.
DJ SX says, we're glad you got your audio fixed.
No, you're not. Lies. Okay, here you go. What, you guys want to actually make the food?
Fire Elements says it's still in the description on YouTube, though, because our platform is cooler.
Again, guys, if you're on YouTube, follow @ContinueCooking, youtube.com/@ContinueCooking. This will be the last one on the GG MonteCristo YouTube.
Oh, look how creamy that is now. You want to zoom in a little more so they can see the ultimate creaminess?
Smells great.
It does smell great. On Twitch, are you staying on the MonteCristo channel?
Yes.
Well, that's not roux anymore. It's now curry. It's got all the curry powders and...
Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I made it... Part of the reason I made a double batch is to show you how to freeze this. So if you come over here, what you're going to want to do is probably take a glass or metal container, and you're going to want to put a piece of foil. This just makes it easier to get out later. A piece of foil or parchment paper in here. And the reason why we're doing this is we are going to... Oh, I broke the foil. I don't want it pouring out through the bottom. Because we're trying to make it so it doesn't stick inside, is our goal. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this metal container in the freezer and freeze it overnight. And then we can cut the curry. We're going to make a big block of curry, which is what you would see if you bought the curry from the store, the curry blocks from the store, like the golden curry that we discussed. It's going to make a block of curry, and then it will, we can cut it into 8 squares, and we would use maybe 6 of those for the amount of curry that we're going to be making today, and you can keep the rest. So I'm doing this just so I don't have to make a roux again next time I want to eat Japanese curry. Or it's not even, you can make curry udon as well with this, like anything that you would require Japanese curry blocks for. So curry udon would be a good one, where you make an udon broth with the noodles and then add maybe 1 or 2 of these curry blocks to it because you don't need a lot in that particular instance. So yeah, I'm just making these because it'll be easier for me to make curry later, and also I'm going to show you how to freeze it. So that's why I made a double batch. Now the reason why I have it on the scale here is because I know that I have 200 grams of butter in here and 200 grams of flour. And so I want to get, so a total of 400 grams approximately of weight, plus the spices, but there's not that much in terms of spice weight in there. I guess there's half a cup of curry powder, so it might be a little bit more than I think. How much does this weigh? 85 grams. So I probably used about half of this, so another 40 or 50 grams. So we may aim for about 250 grams into this container. And what that's going to do is just provide us with the right measurements. And then we're going to use most of this curry, not all of it, the remainder that is. We're going to use most of it within the curry that we're going to be making today. So I will put that into a bowl and set it aside. So let's go ahead and check on the weight here. We're going to need quite a bit more. So about 130 grams right now. About 200. So like I said, we probably want about 250 or so is my rough estimate based on weight of ingredients that we put in there. There you go. 240 is probably fine. We're going to do the same thing into a bowl here. Please scale. Okay. My cast iron is going to be hot. I probably won't be able to scrape all of this out. I just want to make sure we have roughly equal amounts of the roux in. Ow. Just burned myself. Don't worry about it.
Oh. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just hot. I didn't burn myself.
Did you mention something about the British having introduced curry to Japan?
Yes. So the reason why Japanese curry exists is because the British introduced Indian curries to Japan, and then that company S&B started making a curry powder that was to the Japanese taste. So that's the original curry powder is the S&B that we're using right now.
What's different about it?
Just a different spice blend. Maybe we can take a look. Let's see. I'm not exactly sure. I have different curry. I have like a more Indian curry powder up here. So this curry powder has great. All the ingredients are in. It's a Spanish curry powder. Okay, here we go. Red chili, salt, paprika, coriander, turmeric, cumin, cinnamon, ginger, garlic, black pepper, cardamom, onion, fenugreek, bay leaves, caraway, clove, dried mango powder, dried tomato, dried papaya powder. And this one is turmeric. So turmeric is the biggest ingredients. Coriander, fenugreek, cumin, orange peel, pepper, so a little bit different in terms of the fruit essences within it. Chili pepper, cinnamon, fennel, ginger, star anise, thyme, bay leaves, clove, nutmeg, sage, and cardamom. So this one's going to be a little less spicy, a little more sweet. Every curry powder is going to be different. You guys can use whatever curry powder you prefer. I'm just doing it the most traditional way, I would say.
Seeing your food pics on Twitter, they look really good. Have you always been into cooking, or is this something new?
Oh, I've always been into cooking. I actually, when I was in college, worked in restaurants, either cooking or waiting tables, bartending, stuff like that. So I actually worked at a Thai restaurant when I was in college, so my Thai cooking is quite good. I learned from Thai grandma.
Ooh, Vietnamese curry has annatto seed, oil, and lemongrass.
Yeah, you know, one thing that we really like, Susie and I, when we were in Cambodia was Cambodian curry, which is very lemongrass heavy, which I had never had before. And they make a lot of fish curry there as well. So it was you know, a lot of fish curries that have very heavy lemongrass flavor. Very good. That's something no doubt we will make on stream. Cambodian cuisine, underrated. It's not as, I would say, diverse as Thai cuisine, because Thai cuisine is, you know, I think, one of the great cuisines of the world. It just is so varied regionally in terms of the kinds of dishes, numbers of dishes. You know, obviously, it's just excellent. But Cambodian food, overlooked. You know what else that we had that I was really surprised by was when we were living in LA. I forget where we were driving to. We were in Southern California, and sometimes when we're driving, we'll just we'll geolocate our phone and look up close by restaurants on Yelp and just like see if there's something really good around. So we were driving on the freeway, and we found this Laotian barbecue place.
Oh, yeah.
And I had never had Laotian barbecue. It was really good. This place had crazy reviews on Yelp. So we just went there, and it was this little hole in the wall, and just had Laotian barbecue. It was the first and only time I've had it. It was great, though.
There was another, like we were driving down, and we stopped by some Hawaiian place, and we had a Hawaiian barbecue plate, and I was like, why is this place here? Like, surely they could have had a different location for their restaurant.
So I'm just slowly scraping out all of the roux here. I mean, we spent so much time making this roux.
I'm only familiar with Korean curry powders bought from H Mart. Is there something
that's fine
that's different from? Yeah, okay. So Korean curry and Indian curry are different because Indian curry I feel like it's spicier, and Korean curry is a lot milder and sweeter. Because Korean curry is
also
similar.
is a nonsense word, guys. Like, nobody knows what curry actually means.
But Korean curry is closer to Japanese curry than it is to Indian curry.
You can use a Korean curry. You can use any kind of curry powder, guys. If you have a curry powder you like, then just use that. It's okay. I used that other curry powder last time I made it. I bought the S&B curry powder for this stream because I wanted to show the real most Japanese version of this.
Yes, I remember. They said Orange County is no joke for rent, so that's probably why they're just out in the middle of nowhere.
It wasn't. I think it was somewhere. We weren't in Orange County. We were in Riverside or somewhere like that. We were in the Inland Empire, which is much cheaper, obviously, for rent. So that's probably why it was there.
All right. So how much do you have in the bowl?
Oh, I don't know. I reset the scale, so it's the remainder is the answer. I mean, there's quite a bit. If you take a look, quite a bit of. And this will solidify into those blocks. Again, what this looks like when it's frozen. So see this right here. This right here is what we're going to freeze, right? And once it's frozen, we can cut it into eighths, and it turns out like this, which is just a hardened piece of butter and flour and curry powder. So that's what it ends up being. And I had these frozen, and I will freeze these so that we have lots of delicious curry, so we can make curry udon or more Japanese curry without having to worry about buying curry blocks. But also, you can entirely skip this step, guys, and just bought a curry block.
Yep, you'd have saved about an hour 15 of the stream.
But would you have learned as much? Would you have refined your cooking skills?
It's not
No.
closed. It's not closed.
I know.
Okay.
This needed somewhat airtight. So we will set aside our curry for now. I'll just toss it in the freezer. It's still warm, but whatever. As we say here on Continue Cooking, good enough. Because we're home cooking at the end of the day, right?
Our home that looks like a studio.
Yes. Very real, normal home, not full of lights and cameras. All right.
Can I see what you would look like without this light?
No. Any other questions?
Turn it off.
Please.
Please.
Yeah, it's too much backlighting now.
Ah.
You need the light to separate me from the background. Also, probably the look of stuff on the cutting board would be worse. Yeah, that looks way better. Okay, so.
All right, so now you guys know how to make the curry.
Roux.
The roux.
The curry base.
The curry base, yes.
Based curry. More based cooking. I don't have my sunglasses this time.
Reminds me of that classic Marco Pierre White video where he talks about being less professional now that he's a home cook and then proceeds to use knife work that professional chefs would use.
Oh, we'll use professional Japanese knife work here. You just wait. That's part of the fun. Okay, so now we're going to start preparing vegetables for our curry. So now that we have the curry spice done, I'm going to bring out all the ingredients that we need for the curry itself. Because we're going to cook this in a Dutch oven. It'll take a little bit of time to make.
Pre-peeled.
Pre-peeled, I peeled them before the stream because I didn't want to sit there and peel them on stream. You're welcome. I saved you from the peeling stream.
It would have been a nice addition to the stirring stream.
Well, I have to peel this apple though, so you guys can enjoy that, I guess. All right, we gotta get everything out. Sorry, guys. Soy sauce.
A decade ago, Monty taught me lane swapping, and now he's teaching me how to cook. Thanks for doing this.
My pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Okay.
We all grew up together, guys.
So here are, I believe, all of the ingredients we will need. Let me get this first. Okay, so here are all the ingredients we will need. First off, we're going to create a base. This is chicken stock I made. This is 4 cups, so it's a quart. It's basically a liter, guys. This is homemade, unsalted chicken stock. You can use chicken stock from the store. It comes in 4-cup boxes, typically, or 1-quart boxes. I would recommend using a low sodium one so you can control the amount of salt in there. This is how I store things. I made the chicken stock and I freeze it in 4-cup bags and I date it. So this was frozen. I thawed it out prior to the start of the stream. So I will put it over here for the time being. We are going to be using 2 of these onions. We're going to cut them in large wedges because we like a nice chunky curry. I prefer that personally. We are then going to use 2 carrots. These are pretty big carrots. You don't have to use these. These are just the carrots that I had in my fridge already and I want to use them. Probably about 3 Yukon Gold potatoes. Again, I had these small potatoes that I accidentally bought a lot of and didn't realize they were tiny. So I've already peeled these. I am not going to cut these down further. You want them in pretty large chunks. If you're using Yukon Gold potatoes, you will start them cooking at a different time than I will cook these. If you have russet potatoes, you want to add them later to the recipe because they cook faster and otherwise they'll just get super mushy and you want to have them, you know, have a little texture to them. So we don't want to do that. I'm going to use 2 cloves of garlic here. So 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of grated ginger. So I'm going to peel this and then grate it on a microplane. This is fresh ginger. If you already have grated ginger, that's great. We'll use half of this apple. This is a Fuji apple. This is the only kind of apples that exist in Korea, which is good. I mean, it's nice and sweet. The Korean apples are great. We will use some black pepper just to season things. We'll use some vegetable oil to cook things, obviously. We will use some honey here. We will use some soy sauce. We will use some ketchup. And we are going to use, I'm going to add some Worcestershire sauce too, which is a very common ingredient in Japanese cooking. It's going to add a little bit more depth of flavor to this. It's a nice touch, I think. So these are all of the ingredients we are going to be using for the Japanese curry. Again, this is originally came from the British, the idea of curry powder. They brought it from India over, and then the Japanese, over a number of years, have modified it to suit the Japanese palate, and it is delicious. So we will start this. We're also going to be cooking this in this Dutch oven. This is an enameled cast iron Dutch oven that we will use. And so it goes over here. Okay, luckily that's not too hot right now. I'm actually just going to move this over here. I'm going to have to wash that out. I'm going to be frying the katsu in it later. This bowl is being used to thaw the chicken stock. This can go over here and clean up some of my spices while I'm over here.
Finally caught a running stream of Zilf Zaddy cooking.
They took away my DILF gamer tag. I'm so mad. They let me have it for a long time, but they wouldn't let me have DILF, so I made it into DILF gamer, and now they took away DILF gamer.
Maybe you can make a new one.
I can't. Anything with DILF in it is now eliminated.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Twitch, please.
I thought they were all about inclusivity.
Us DILFs are underrepresented on Twitch. Equal rights for DILFs. That's what I say. Okay, I'm going to start by cutting the carrots because they're the most fun. They're the most fun thing to cook or to cut, because we are going to be using a Japanese cooking technique or cutting. Sorry, we're going to use a Japanese cutting technique called rangiri, which means random shapes. Japanese, great name, by the way. I'm going to start by cutting the ends off the carrots. Let's get rid of those. I'll move this just so you guys have a better look. I'm also going to cut at an angle here. So rangiri, this is how you do rangiri cutting, the Japanese cooking technique or is how you do rangiri, the Japanese cutting technique. It could also be called a rolling cut in English. What we do is we're going to keep our knife at one angle, which is a 45-degree angle, okay? And we're going to make one cut, all right? Then we are going to turn the object we are cutting, in this case, the carrot, 90 degrees. So it's a quarter turn. Keeping our knife at the same angle, we are going to make the cut again. Keeping our knife at the same angle, we are going to make the cut again. And we're going to make these cuts a little bit smaller as the carrot diameter increases as we go along. And we don't have to always cut on the flat part of the carrot. We can continue to do it this way. We are trying to create an even cut so that our pieces will approximately have the same cooking time, right?
What brand is that knife?
This knife is a Wusthof Icon Classic, 8-inch chef knife. Okay, so let's take a look at this. The reason why we are doing it this way is because this style of cut that makes the rangiri random shape maximizes the surface area of the vegetable you are cutting. And why this is important is it will both, basically, the more surface area you have, the more the curry will penetrate into the carrot and make it more delicious. Plus, they look cool. Isn't that delightful?
So why not just cut it thinner and not chunky?
Because we want chunky bits in the curry, because that's how Japanese curry is made.
Got it.
And it's yummy. So again, knife at the 45-degree angle. You can pick any 45-degree angle. If you want to cut it this way at a 45-degree angle, straight on, you totally can. I just prefer to do it this way because I think it's a little bit safer. So 45-degree angle to the vegetable that you are cutting. Quarter turn, cut. Quarter turn, cut. Quarter turn, cut. My wife hates cooked carrots, so she will not be eating any of these.
Nope.
But I think it's delicious.
I love these streams so much. They were more unique coming from you out of all unexpected people.
I don't know why it's unexpected, but all right. So here we go.
Hope to keep seeing more. Yeah, we're planning on doing
2 times a week.
2 times a week, Mondays and oh no, wherever you are.
It's Sundays and Wednesdays in the U.S.
Yeah. Ugh, cooked carrots are top tier.
I know. She has a problem, guys. All right, so we have our rangiri carrots now that we're going to put in here with our potatoes. Again, we're not going to be cutting the potatoes further because we like big chunky potatoes. Okay. So I'm just going to put all my vegetables in this bowl because we're going to dump it in. Actually, we're not going to dump the potatoes in at the same time, but
whatever. They're big enough. You can pick them out.
I can grab my carrots very effectively.
Effective carrot grabbing. Yes, I eat raw carrots. I do not like the flavor and the texture of cooked carrots.
So she says she doesn't like the flavor, but she eats a lot of mirepoix that I make in pasta.
If it's blended in there and it's not only
if it's diced, she'll eat it.
Right, but if it's not only that carrot flavor.
If it's minced, she'll eat it. If it is not minced, she will not.
Yes, and big chunky carrots are easier to remove. So yeah, I will remove them.
Honestly, guys, she has no idea how much she actually eats carrots, which is a lot.
It's fine. I just don't when I see it and I eat it, I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's the
That's
same
why
thing.
I hide them from you.
Great. I'm glad you do. I am glad you do.
I cut them so small you can't detect them.
You know, Max does the same thing. Where he's like, I don't want to eat this. Can you hide it inside my kimbap? And I'm like, yes.
It is funny because he asks us to hide the food.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to eat it. Can you just hide it and then I'll eat it?
So he knows it's in there still, which is hilarious.
Yes, but as long as he doesn't see it, he can eat it.
Hope you guys enjoy the hair stream. Trying to get some of this onion skin off to the side here. So I picked 2 medium-sized-ish onions. We are going to be cutting these into wedges because, again, we like big, chunky vegetables. They're fun to eat. It mixes up the consistency because the curry sauce is going to be just a sauce. So it feels more like a stew the way you're going to be eating the curry here.
Yeah. Our son Max is 5.
He just turned 5.
He just turned 5. And do I cook? Occasionally.
Susie, you have not cooked probably in 6 months.
I make breakfast every morning.
She pours cereal in a bowl, guys.
I make fried egg.
Do not believe her lies.
I make fried egg in the morning. Okay.
She's trying to lie to you right now, but I'm not going to let her. It's fine. I do the cooking. It's totally fine. I'm not bitter about it, but we also are just not going to lie about it. Okay. Based on the size of this onion, I'm probably going to cut the wedges into thirds because I want them to be nice and big. So I will go ahead and do that. Sometimes, if it was a bigger onion, I'd probably cut it into quarters. I'm going to go ahead and put it in with our carrots.
Sauce Boss 503. Thank you for your sub.
Thank you,
For
Sauce
5
Boss.
months. Go Cowboys, he says.
No, she's the Giants fan, so good luck with that. The AFC East rivalry. I don't really care one way or the other about the Cowboys.
That's fine. Exactly. I'm a Giants fan.
Enjoy your Russell Wilson
Oh
experience.
my God.
She had to live through, since I'm a Broncos fan, she had to live through the Russell Wilson experience with me. And now she can have her own fandom's Russell Wilson experience.
Let's ride.
Mr. Unlimited.
Oh my God. I hope he's not.
I aspire to his level of cringe. I don't think I could ever do it, though. That's the thing.
I love the little waste bin. Yeah, we got a. Well, it's for food waste because
Yeah,
here we
in
recycle
Korea,
everything.
all the food waste is recycled. So what they do with it mostly is turn it into they like ferment it and turn it into gas, which then powers electricity. So it becomes like basically biogas. So everybody is supposed to put their food waste into these little bins, which then we take out outside of our apartment building, and there's a bin for food waste out there that you put the food waste into. Korea actually is, I believe, the #1 country in terms of recycling on the planet. A lot of recycling is just BS, makes you feel good, but it just goes straight into the dump or gets shipped abroad to some poor third world country to sit in a giant mound and be disgusting or tossed into the ocean. But Korea actually recycles about 80%, and part of that is because people do a very good job of separating all their waste. So you have to separate plastic, glass, cans, cardboard, plastic film, but most stuff gets recycled here, like actually recycled. I think also they pretty heavily control the kinds of plastics that are used so that the plastic is uniform and able to be recycled, whereas at least in America, there's 23 different kinds of plastic that are used, some of which can be recycled, some of which can't, et cetera, et cetera.
Thank you, Faytox, for your
welcome
subscription.
back.
Yeah, 22 months. Anything katsu absolutely slaps. Salmon katsu is an easy go-to for me.
Oh, nice.
We're used to recycling over here. You say it sounds not fun, but honestly,
It doesn't matter.
What we do is we have this, we have like a side room for our washing machine, and then when we throw things out, we just separate it. So I have a bin for plastic, I have a bin for, paper, vinyl, and then our trash. So when we go downstairs to throw everything away, it's already separated. I just dump it into the respective bins. It's not hard.
So this is ginger that I just went ahead and peeled with a spoon. We only need about a teaspoon of this, so I'm just going to microplane a teaspoon of ginger into this bowl. I'm going to put my minced garlic in here too, so my aromatics will go in here. I'm roughly eyeballing this. This piece of ginger looks like it's about a teaspoon. I'm not going to do all of it. So, looks like we're about halfway there.
I think in LA they were trying to get people to do that with their food waste, but
yeah, you're supposed to do it, but it's not composted. And even in Korea, where I think people are very conscientious about this, they've had issues because one of the things I know they wanted to do from reading about this is use the food waste as animal feed. And so you're not supposed to put things like bones in this, like chicken bones or fish bones.
Yeah.
But I think that some people just do that anyway, and so they can't feed it really to animals because then the animals will like choke on the bones or it will cause problems. So
eggshells are not supposed to go in there.
yeah, stuff like that that couldn't be eaten by an animal. I'm just going to check this real quick. Yeah, it's about a teaspoon of the ginger. Do just a little bit more. It's a little bit short of that teaspoon. There we go. So that's all the ginger we're going to end up needing for this. Usually I just buy pre-cut ginger because I don't enjoy doing this, but
yeah, we can just get pre-minced ginger.
Yeah.
And pre-minced garlic.
Pre-minced garlic doesn't work though, so we don't do that. The thing about buying garlic, guys, is that the thing about garlic is that it's actually the action of chopping that releases the enzyme that makes garlic flavorful. So if it's been sitting there pre-chopped, you just have to use a lot more of it or it just doesn't have the right flavor. So getting pre-chopped garlic is just a terrible idea. You can get it pre-peeled, which is what I do. And then that's also why we have different, we slice garlic differently, because basically the smaller you slice the garlic, the more garlicky the thing becomes, even with the same volume of garlic. So if I were just to use this garlic and crush the cloves versus slicing the cloves versus what I'm doing, which is mincing the cloves, the minced cloves will have the most garlic flavor, even though it is technically the same amount of garlic as sliced garlic.
Oh, that's cool. Bibber says, I saw a minced ginger technique where you slice it thin and then take a bit of plastic wrap on the board and bang the sides of the knife on it.
Okay.
And then you get the garlic peel off and then it pulverizes it into a mince.
Yeah, it's similar, I guess, to how you would get the husks off of a piece of garlic. That's interesting. Whatever, the spoon works really well, just a teaspoon or a normal spoon. But that is interesting. I'll have to try that at some point in time. Okay, so there we go. It's our garlic. We are going to grate an apple now. I have to peel this thing first. Where's my peeler? Where is it? Here it is.
You're going to use a peeler?
Yeah, this is yeah, why not? I'm going to cut this in half. We only need half of this apple. This is going to add just a little fruit flavor and depth. We could probably use an Asian pear here too if you... I don't know why you would have that and not an apple, but... Sometimes that's true if you live in Korea.
If you don't have a sweet apple...
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't use like...
You could use a sour apple, just add more sugar or honey.
No, because it's Japanese curry. They would be using sweet apples. So
yeah, like the Fuji. This is a Fuji apple.
Yeah.
I would use a pear, yeah. Now, if you have a green apple and a pear, I do wonder about your shopping list, frankly, but maybe that's just who you are. I'm kind of cutting around the core right now. Eat the other half of this apple later. Hold on, I need to get a grater.
You love this thing.
I do. It's an OXO grater. It's very handy. It has different
grates
and a mandolin. And this is, I haven't actually used this one yet. This will like, it's like a shredder. But this thing's very handy because it all goes together, and then you can use the top of it to catch the ingredients that you're grating.
I bought garlic last week, sad face.
Look, you can use it.
I use it all the time.
No, you don't. We don't even have it in the house. And you
okay.
she says
hold on.
she doesn't cook.
I used to use it all the time before I married him, and now I don't have to cook ever. So he says I don't cook, but it's also because he enjoys cooking, which I am indifferent. And then he cooks all the time, so why would I cook? Duh.
I'm just going to go ahead and mince the rest of this apple.
Hair cam?
Hair cam.
I'll go to 2.
Because I don't want to hurt myself on the grater. It's not how I want to get cut today. It'll cook down as well.
Bibber lives on Oahu.
Ooh, nice.
So having great Japanese food prevalent is awesome.
Did you catch my Hawaiian cooking stream where I made loco moco and chicken katsu? That's the real question. That was last year.
We need a hair emote. Yeah, you only need one chef in the house. I mean, I don't want to step on your toes or anything. You just do it. What you do, sir.
Okay.
He said, I did not.
It should be on the YouTube. If you go to my YouTube page, Gigi MonteCristo, there will be a live tab on there where you can check that out. That was in the alpha testing of the cooking stream, though.
Have you ever made any Caribbean food? I don't think we have.
That's coming, though, because I love Jamaican goat curry.
I want a Jamaican beef patty.
I can make that.
So bad.
I can make that. That's actually really easy to make.
It's so good.
I was looking up recipes for that the other day, Susie, and it's actually really easy to make.
Okay, good, because I miss that so much.
Are you prepared for dumpling week, where I just make different cultures' dumplings for
Sure.
2 weeks?
Unfortunately, our kids don't eat dumplings.
Oh, they will. We'll make momos, which are Tibetan dumplings, mandu, which are Korean dumplings, shumai. Make it all.
Trinidad and
Xiao Long
Tobago
bao.
makes better goat curry than
Oh
Jamaica.
my God, the Caribbean food wars have started.
But I'm biased.
Oh my God, the Caribbeans are going after each other.
Dumplings December.
Dumplings, so it's good. I like it. Okay.
Yeah. Do you guys like this themed month thing? We're playing around with it. We're seeing if we should, do different foods randomly, or should we have a monthly theme? What do you guys think?
I mean, the next 2 weeks are basically all Japanese food, but for those people who may not be interested in that cuisine, it's a long time to go with just kind of a single cuisine is our thought. But also it allows us to get a little bit more in-depth with that cuisine, which is fun.
Yeah, I don't know. So it really depends on.
Okay, so we're going to start heating up our Dutch oven right now because we want to cook the onions first.
Here's a good point. I like the idea of a themed month because then it'll give people a chance to use up the ingredients that they shop
That was my argument as well.
To cook along with you.
Because a lot of the ingredients in different cultural foods will overlap. So, you're not buying a bottle of sauce or whatever and then just not being able to use it for a while. So yes, that was my thought as well.
Jay-Hone, that I like theme, but random here and there is cool too. Thank you. That is the dilemma. Yes. But yeah, that was what we were thinking. But then if someone doesn't like it, then maybe they just don't watch that month, or they just watch and don't cook with you. I don't know. The people eating it get the highest priority in deciding IMO. I mean,
I'm just going to add a little canola oil in here.
there's the Dutch oven.
Because we're going to cook the onions first.
Can you move the camera a little bit?
Sure. Where
So
would you
it's-
like it moved?
Just so it's more centered.
How about that? Is that good?
That's better, yeah. What if you themed ingredients, so not necessarily same cuisine?
Yeah. Problem is like there's just going to be a lot of specialty ingredients that you buy for different kinds of cooking, right?
That's true. Group the cuisines. I like the depth and chat. You could do more complicated dishes.
I mean, what we're doing today here is pretty complicated, guys, because we made the roux. This can be actually very easy if you don't make the roux, because then you're just cutting up the vegetables and adding the pre-made roux later. But I tend to show, I tend to want to show how to do things from scratch, and then I will give you how to shortcut it if you want to.
Themed weeks would be good because it's 2 episodes a week.
Yeah, that was the other thought. So we're just pulling out the onions. We're going to throw these in first. And guys, should we caramelize the onions? Because I know you loved roux stream. Do you like roux and caramelizing the onions at the same time? I'm going to throw some kosher salt in here because when you add salt to onions as they cook, it helps it break down. And remember that I am not using a commercial curry block that has salt in it, nor does my chicken stock have any salt in it. So I'm very safe to add salt now. If you are using low sodium stock, you're probably also safe. If you're using the golden curry or another pre-made curry block, and you're using full sodium chicken stock, I would be very careful so you don't make it too salty.
I'll have you know, Monty, a sponsorship from BBQ for the LCK a couple of years ago worked for me. I found one here locally.
BBQ chicken's good.
And I went to it purely because of watching LCK at night, and I was craving the food from the ads, and it was wonderful.
It is good.
Especially the sweet cheese fries.
Ooh, that sounds terrible.
You hate those.
I do hate those.
They're not bad. Do any of the other LFN bros cook?
They will, because the guests are going to start, guys.
Only the ones here in Korea, though. I don't see Thorin flying out here just to cook with Monty.
I do want to do some guest streams. Like, I'd love to have Atlas come over and make Australian meat pies. So I do want to do that, but we kind of need to get everything under control here in terms of stream quality and get all the content out first.
I mean, we have Atlas. We have Seth is out here. Wolf is here.
Valdez is
Degon's
Cuban.
here.
I could make Cuban food.
Valdez.
Degon, I'd probably love to make some adobo or Filipino food.
Yeah, a lot of them are here. Doa's visiting.
Yeah, Doa will come by when he comes at the end of May.
Are you gonna make him?
Yeah,
cook
I've already
something?
talked to him about this.
Okay, cool. We'll plan out something with Doa.
What I really want to do too is start approaching professional cooks that are in Korea and get them over here to show me how to do their recipes. That would be fun. So we'll see if that can happen at some point in
Can I
time.
get my mom to do kimchi with you?
Yes. But, people who run restaurants here would be fun, especially locally, if I could convince them to come here for a day. And,
Chuck.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people.
Yeah. Doa in the kitchen. Yeah, apparently Doa's gotten pretty good at cooking. He said he's been doing more of it, so it'll be fun.
So I do want to brown these onions a little bit because we want to add that sweetness. I don't know if we're going to fully caramelize them. These are pretty big, so may not do that. I'm going to wash out my cast iron real quick, guys.
Are we in Seoul? We are not in Seoul.
We're in Incheon.
We live in Incheon. It's about an hour out of Seoul. We live half an hour out from the airport. So, fun fact, a lot of friends who do come visit Korea will go to Seoul, do the whole Korea thing, and then on their way out, will stop by and we end up having a meal with them something, and then we drive them to the airport so that we can see everyone. What different kinds of cooking oil do you use, Monty?
Huh?
What kind of cooking oils do you use?
It depends on what I'm doing. For this, I'm just using a canola oil. I'll fry in the canola oil as well. For stir frying, I tend to use avocado oil, which is a high heat oil. Peanut oil is also very good. I would say mostly I use olive oil, but it's not going to be as high temperature. Very good for you, though.
Yes, and sometimes we pick up friends from the airport. When are you coming back, Andrew? Now we can hear the ASMR sizzle of the onions.
I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Doesn't matter if we get a few burned bits of onion on the bottom because we can just deglaze this.
Is grapeseed oil available to you? I've started using it since
I think so.
Costco in large quantities. It's much cheaper than olive.
Yeah, but it also has different applications than olive oil. Like olive oil, the reason why I use it is, let's say I'm making a pasta sauce or something like that. Like it just adds more flavor, and it is much healthier for you. Olive oil is very good for you. So if you're not cooking at high heat, grapeseed oil is going to be a higher heat oil. So it's very useful for a lot of things. Like I'm not gonna deep fry this katsudon in, olive oil because it would smoke like hell. But I'm actually heating up my cast iron to dry it out right now. It's on a different burner, but I'm getting it ready because I'm going to use the cast iron to fry the pork.
I'm getting hungry, sir. It is noon now here in Korea. What do you think about rising of co-streamers like K-Droll and Medios and Riot getting pounded on sponsor revenue?
I mean, made their own bed. My take on co-streamers is I'm glad people enjoy them, but for me it's not about the enjoyment. It's about the fact that I think it makes esports very precarious because as we saw with Ibai, if somebody just decides to stop streaming, it crashes the numbers. And, I obviously as a caster, I prefer the more professional sports approach. That's just my preference. So I don't know. It's been good for viewership in the short term. Is that a good long-term strategy? I question it.
I like how Sting comes in, watches, and then he gets whatever it is that we're making for lunch. Did you get bulgogi the last time? You said that's what you wanted to do. And speaking of esports, I heard you're the first esports wedding. Probably not.
I don't know if that's true.
We're probably the first ones to stream it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh, the onion is starting to smell quite nice. There's a shot of the onions.
Okay, I'm gonna clean up this cutting board now, and I'm gonna get it ready for the Tonkatsu. Turn the fan on, guys.
Here, you guys can watch him clean up.
Wow, so interesting.
I know.
The washing stuff while you cook stream.
Yeah. Sting, why don't you get your mom to watch the stream, and that way she can make the food that Monty is making that day, and then that way you guys can coordinate. Didn't Loco basically invite himself to your wedding? No, Loco was invited. No. Of course he was. Cleaning as you go is a pro tip.
It is. Makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, kitchen rotations.
We're rotating through my kitchen. This kitchen is very well set up. Like, I like the layout quite a bit of this kitchen. Also extremely good for the stream, except when you're looking at my glorious ass while
he's cooking. I mean, we can always go back to the onions. But why would you do that? So the apartment complex here, one of the reasons we chose it is because my mother lives here.
And your father.
My parents live here. And their layout is different. Their apartment is bigger, but their kitchen is smaller. And so we opted for this layout of the kitchen.
Yeah, it also would have been worse for the broadcast just because of the angles. This is perfect. Oh, all right, well.
Did you burn them?
No, it's fine. It doesn't matter. A little burnt flavor is actually probably going to be good here.
Why do you guys not have an oven?
We do, but most Korean, it's very small.
It's a small oven. It's like a multi-purpose oven. It's like an oven and microwave thing, but most Koreans don't use ovens.
There's no like baking that's done at home here. People just buy baked goods from the store.
Yeah. Also, all the counters and stuff are slightly lower than what
annoying.
Monty is used to.
Right now, guys, I'm just going to add the garlic and ginger, the aromatics. So we're going to cook these for just a second, maybe like 30 seconds in here, because we just want to get them warm and get the essence into the oil and take the edge off them. And it'll start to smell super good.
Yeah, all of our counters and chairs and stuff like that slightly shorter, because Koreans have longer torsos than legs. Like, obviously I'm generalizing a whole lot, but I find the counter height to be wonderful, but I'm also not over 6 feet tall, so...
It's really bad, guys. Also, the chairs and tables are all different heights, which is very uncomfortable for me.
Which is wonderful for me. My feet actually don't dangle when I sit in chairs here.
So we'll return to this in just a moment. Right now, we're going to add our 4 cups of the chicken stock. So I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. Whoop. I poured some into the cast iron and it sizzled. Very nice. There's still an ice cube in here, but we're going to heat this up. So I'm going to turn the heat up. And we are going to, I'm just going to scrape the brown stuff off the bottom because that'll be delicious later. So we heated up the ginger and garlic. Now we have the chicken stock in there. Remember, there's not a lot of salt in here right now. Yeah, it's very not salty at the moment. The only salt in here is the small amount of salt, maybe like a half teaspoon or a teaspoon that I used to cook the onions. So right now I'm scraping up all the brown bits on the bottom to incorporate that into the curry.
Is the counter at 32 inches? I have
no. It's shorter.
We haven't measured. I haven't measured.
Good question. Let's measure it.
All right.
I have a measuring tape right here. The counter is at 33 inches.
Okay. Well, Archie, you are in India, right? So maybe.
But if you look at this shot of me.
Oh, I know.
Like, it's basically at ball height.
Thank you so much for that visual.
You get more later, baby. So it's kind of, it's well below my waist.
I'll go to 2. You can show them your crotch again. Ta-da!
So it's much lower than a counter in America would be.
It's perfect for washing your balls in the sink, but not for cooking.
Yeah, we're stirring these onions together now. Once we get this up,
But see, that's the thing. Oh, that's the thing is when I'm cooking on here or when I'm standing chopping things, it's a perfect height. Where in the States, I feel like everything's too high.
yeah. So we're going to bring this up to a simmer, and then we're going to add the carrots. This is a very strong burner, so we'll get up to simmering temperature pretty quickly.
I am not making subtitles for the whole ball gig. It's simmering.
It's getting there. We're almost there. We're patiently waiting.
No, we have all gas burners. But again, different apartment units have different burners.
Your parents have like 2 induction burners and then 1 gas burner?
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and put the carrots in now. Whoops. Get out. Now, this is the time, we're adding the carrots now. This is the time where if you have Yukon Gold potatoes that you've cut into large chunks, maybe if you have a normal Yukon Gold potato, you've cut it into 4 or 6 pieces, but I like it pretty chunky. You would add them now. However, since we do not have Yukon Gold potatoes, or if you have russet potatoes, we're going to add these later because we don't want to overcook them. But this is looking pretty good at the moment.
I'm so hungry and it smells so good.
So I'm going to turn down the heat now because we just want this to simmer. I'm actually going to move the burner, but turn down the heat and cover it is going to be what we want to do. And we're just going to cook that probably for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. 15 minutes probably. We'll take a look at it after 15. Sorry, let's move pots around right now. I'm going to move this to a different burner because it's just going to sit there covered. And I need it on a pretty low temperature. So I'll put that on low covered because while it's covered, it'll stay warmer anyway.
You're not putting any meat in it?
Nope. You can make if you were to make a chicken curry. So again, the recipe from Just One Cookbook, the base that I'm using is from their chicken curry, Japanese chicken curry recipe. You can braise the chicken in it now, but we are making it with tonkatsu. So we are going to have curry, rice, tonkatsu. Okay? So I am omitting the meat because we are going to make a different meat. Yeah?
Yeah.
Speaking of the different meat, let us continue. All right, so you can do this with chicken, you can do this with pork. I'm going to pull out all of our ingredients right now for this.
Can you straighten the cutting board? Just for aesthetic purposes.
Flour.
Firewalkers, I was going to make the same joke. I'm glad you did. That lettuce is not a meat.
Okay, here we go, guys. These are going to be the ingredients that we use for the tonkatsu. I have salt here. This is what they call seasoning salt, or mat sogum in Korean. You can use table salt. This is salt with MSG in it.
It's taste sogum.
Yes, it's called, mat is taste, sogum is salt. Taste salt, seasoning salt. It is salt with MSG in it. It is delicious. I'm going to use that. Black pepper for the meat. We have some flour. We have panko breadcrumbs. These are Japanese-style breadcrumbs. This says panko.
No, it says
bangru.
Karu.
Yeah, bangaru, which is flour.
Karu, yeah.
Breadcrumbs mix, but it is banko. This is banko.
바삭한 is crispy, and then...
So you want in English, the panko breadcrumbs, not other breadcrumbs. They're made differently. Actually, you know what's really cool? You guys should go look up YouTube videos about how they make panko breadcrumbs. It is super interesting. It doesn't look like normal bread. It's a crazy Japanese process. We have an egg, and then we have this. This is pork sirloin cutlets. In Korean, this is called dongshim, is the cut of the pork. I like sirloin, pork sirloin, because it has, in my opinion, the best fat to lean meat ratio for tonkatsu. This is the most common cutlet you will see. Now this says here, it says in Korean, it says dongshim tonkatsu. This has already been pre-made for tonkatsu. If you go to an Asian market, or if you are in an Asian country, particularly Korea or Japan, you will find that they will sell this basically pre-sliced and pre-pounded, which is very, very convenient for making this at home. Now, if you are going to a grocery store in the West, you're not going to find this so convenient. What this means is you will find pork sirloin, but you are likely to have to cut it thin and cut it into the right shape, and then use a hammer to pound it yourself. You see, this has already been perforated as well, which you don't have to do, but you're going to have to probably tenderize this in some way. The other thing you can do if you want to make chicken katsu is get a chicken breast, and what you're going to do is pretend my hand is the chicken breast. You're not going to slice it like this. You're not going to slice it like this. You're going to slice it in half lengthwise like this to make two thinner chicken breasts. Put some saran wrap on top of it, and then hit it with the hammer. Okay, like this. So that is what you want to do to tenderize it. If you have the sirloin, you might also have to cut it thinner and then hammer it and then cut it into the appropriate size. The nice thing about this is that I can buy this from the grocery store. You may also be able to buy it from an Asian store, which is, if we go ahead and look at it here, this is the sirloin cutlet. You can see it is about 1 centimeter thick, I would say, maybe a little bit more. And this is the size of it relative to my hand, right? So it's a nice approachable cutlet size, and it just comes prepackaged like this. So we love this. It's one of the advantages of living in a place like Japan or Korea, where this is an extremely common food. And there's 6 of these in here. And tonkatsu in general is prevalent. It's just everywhere. In Korea, it's everywhere in Japan. Any place you go, you can find it for lunch. Everybody eats it. It's super common comfort food. People make it at home, as we're about to do right here. It's just easier because, and I don't feel like showing you how to pound out, tenderize this.
You're not going to beat your meat here?
I'm not going to beat my meat in front of you, you disgusting animals. Only you, Susie, get to see that.
Yay. I love it when you beat your meat for everyone, though.
Oh, is that your new thing? Well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to indulge you on that one. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to set up a breading station, right? And this is going to make it easy. So we have 3 shallow bowls here. It's not exactly my most ideal shallow bowl situation, but it is what it is. I'm going to get 2 plates out back here.
So is tenderizing it to allow the juices to absorb better, or why do you?
You just want it flat. So the reason why we want it a consistent thickness is because that's going to even out the cooking. Because if it has variations in thickness, it is going to cook differently in different portions. So we are really just trying to make it an even thickness so that it cooks evenly and we don't have one part that's raw and one part that is undercooked, right? That's typically why we do any of this, any kind of, and also the tenderization will help make it, obviously, more tender. I know that's shocking. I'm putting all of these on a plate right now, so before I create my stations, I got a little bit ahead of myself right there. We are going to season this with salt and pepper. So we're going to season it under the breading to make it more delicious. So I'm going to take my matsogum, my seasoning salt. I'm just going to sprinkle it on here like this.
All right, Salt Bay it. Back to you.
And by the way, guys, the reason why we Salt Bay it is because when you do it from high up, it helps, and sprinkle it, it creates an even amount of salt on the meat. So there is actually a practical purpose for doing that. Hold on, I need some, I don't want to touch the raw meat again because I don't want to wash my hands. So I'm just going to get some tongs. Go ahead, crack some fresh black pepper on this. And we will individually flip these pieces. And these cutlets are a little wet, so I'm going to go ahead and dry them a little bit to eliminate some of the water content. So obviously when we fry them, we don't want them spitting.
Is it Tonkatsu?
Very good, guys. Very good. I appreciate your puns. Get some more salt on there.
Lulz Naga, thank you for your resub.
Thank you for your resub.
26-month streak.
Wow, nice.
Woohoo!
We'll be here all the time now, cooking, and then, by the way, I have to play Chrono Trigger on stream, so you guys are gonna enjoy that maybe.
Have you made a review of Severance yet?
Yes, we've done
did,
two.
Right?
We've done two.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, Lutch Outsider on Nerd Legion.
Yeah.
Him and Doa talked about. There's two episodes actually on it. Severance is so good. I want to rewatch it again.
Okay, so before we go further, I'm going to add the potatoes because we've got about 10 minutes left cooking. Over here, I'm going to just move this real quick so you guys can see it. I'm going to go ahead and add the potatoes very, very carefully. And by carefully, I mean haphazardly because I can dump these with one hand. Okay, I go ahead and give that a stir after the potatoes go in. It was simmering nicely. It should be pretty chunky, and you should have just enough liquid with the 4 cups of the chicken stock to cover the vegetables. If I push down here, they're all stacked on top of each other, so we're looking good. If you have too much liquid and not enough vegetables, you may have to simmer it uncovered to get rid of some of the liquid, but we don't have to do that.
Will there be a horror game playthrough one day?
Oh my God, maybe.
I'm the person you want for that.
That's true, actually. Okay, so back to this. We salted the other cutlets. Now we're going to put just a little bit of pepper on them. Susie? Sorry, sometimes I have to remind her to
I'm
change
reading
cameras.
chat. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'm here to remind you. Ah, my hammer is preventing my drawer from opening. Okay, there we go. Now, we have 6 cutlets here, so we may need more breadcrumbs, but we're going to start with a cup of the panko breadcrumbs. Usually, you're going to end up with some amount extra. So I will put the panko in one dish here. Let me move some of this stuff. Need more space. One moment, guys. Just got to clean up for a second. There's not enough room for me. Okay. So I'm going to move the cutlets over here, and we're going to start the breading station. The tonkatsu, or the panko breadcrumbs go last. In the middle will be the egg. It's kind of a small egg, so I may need some additional eggs.
Yeah, these eggs are pretty tiny.
I'll get another one.
Yeah, I think a second one would be good.
If you have a big egg, though, you only need one. And also, if you're doing fewer cutlets, you should only need one.
Iceberg, that's definitely not what we're making right now. I'm about to attempt making pepperoni pizza stuffed chicken nuggets.
Ooh, nice. Okay, I'm going to use some chopsticks just to beat these eggs. You need them pretty well beaten. I probably should have done this in a different bowl prior to starting, but because we really want them incorporated evenly. So we'll beat the egg Japanese style with chopsticks. Use a whisk, obviously.
Oh yeah, totally forgot. I have these fun camera switching things.
So there may still be some runny whites in here. There are right now. Trying to get rid of those. Whoa. It's going around the world. Do you guys like the production value? It's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty good.
How about this one?
Okay. We call that good enough.
All right, back to 3, and I will use that.
So I'm gonna get 2 tablespoons of flour here into our first dish. We'll make it look pretty for you guys. I think you guys deserve a nicely framed camera shot, don't you? How's that look? Doesn't have to be precise. The point is we just need to cover the cutlets in the flour. This is one of those times where we don't have to measure it because the only thing that matters is cutlets get covered in flour. Hopefully we don't need the flour again. I'll put it away, maybe. Goes there.
Aesthetically pleasing shot. Mm-hmm. And then the angled tongs on the bottom. So artsy. Are we in Korea? Yes, we are in Korea. We are in Korea. We've been here for a little over a year, like a year and a half now. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here we go, guys. This is how we're going to do it. I need to get my other plate. Move some more ingredients out of the way. Okay, so how we're going to do this is we are going to, each station, we're going to put some flour on here, and this will help stick everything together and crisp the surface of the meat. So we want to get a nice flour coating, shake any excess flour off. Then we are going to dredge it in the egg, and the egg again will fry on the outside, and it is going to help stick the panko breadcrumbs to this. And we really want to make sure this is like nicely pressed in and thoroughly coated in the panko breadcrumbs, because this is going to create the texture on the outside that is going to be delightfully crunchy. And the breadcrumbs will become fully saturated with oil and golden and delicious. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Probably what you want to do in terms of technique, which I just screwed up, is use one hand. So I'm going to use my left hand for the flour process and the egg process, and then use my other hand for the panko crumbs so I don't get things too wet. And I don't get panko crumbs all over my left hand, because that is inevitably what's going to happen. That looks good. And then, we're looking at, going to take a look at the cutlet. It's going to look something like this. Ooh.
I would eat that raw.
Okay, do it.
I don't want to be on camera.
You're not on camera. Don't know what you're talking about. I'll watch you gnaw on some raw meat like an animal.
PP Doc asks, how much do you miss doing SI?
Oh, I miss it. It's fun. But the nice thing is I still get to do content with Thorin. So I still get to do stuff with him. And we're going to start probably a graphic novel book club soon, just the two of us. I'm looking forward to that. I do miss, talking about LOL. It's fun for me. Obviously, I did that for a decade plus of my life. But at the end of the day, what I don't miss is having to watch 40 hours of VODs every week, which I found to be quite tiresome by the end.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
It was also very hard because I had to watch VODs on Sundays when my kids were home, and now that our second kid is getting older, I want to spend time with them and on the weekends when we have them. So it was just becoming increasingly burdensome. And also, frankly, like LFN just needed me to focus more on the business side of things rather than making league content, because we're basically on the cusp of launching probably 7 or 8 new shows, guys. We're getting our contracts all worked out with talent right now, but we're trying to expand into 4 new esports with a lot of like very well-known commentators. So it's a good time. And then we're also going to be expanding more in terms of, like I said, maybe the graphic novel content, general gaming content, general esports content. We're bringing in another Counter-Strike show. So there's just a lot. There's a lot, guys. And none of that would have gotten done if I didn't have the time to make all these calls, fix a lot of stuff at the back end of the company. We're getting a lot of new sponsors soon, too, some of which are deals that I negotiated that I wouldn't have had time to deal with.
And merch.
And we're launching merch. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. So I just needed time to focus on all that stuff. So
what do the kids do during the weekdays? There's something called school.
I'm going to go to school.
The older one goes to, he's basically pre-kindergarten. His age is pre-kindergarten. And the other one's at daycare. He's 15 months old and enjoys interactions with other kids, and so we feel that daycare is a good option for him.
And the other thing, guys, is I wanted to do this cooking content. If I'm streaming LOL all the time, I can't do that. And then there's also, well, I'm not going to use the word want here, but the Star Wars content exists. And I did threaten to play every Star Wars game ever made. So there's a lot. And like I said, for the general gaming content, one of the things I have to do is replay Chrono Trigger in the next month, because Doa and Wolf and maybe Degon and I are all going to be doing because it's the 30-year anniversary of Chrono Trigger.
Holy moly, really?
Yeah, we're going to do a 30-year retrospective on Chrono Trigger, and we're going to try and film it when Doa is out here so we can do it in person. So one of the things I want to do is like rent an Airbnb and set it up for a hotel room and set it up for filming with all the equipment that we have for this show. And then that way we can have some LFN in-person content where we kind of discuss the history of Chrono Trigger and our impressions on it on its 30th anniversary. So that's the next kind of general gaming project we were looking at. That's it. That's why.
Oh no, Andrew. It's definitely not going to be a gamer crib we are used to from when we were young. Andrew, maybe you should fly out for that and help produce it from here, you know?
Maybe we will do that in the future. Okay, so right now, this is what it looks like. So you guys, I kind of made a mess underneath, but this is what you guys are going to end up with. These are the 6 cutlets that are with the panko breadcrumbs. I'm going to start heating up the oil now. Probably need about a cup of oil at least. So here we go. I'll start heating up my under probably medium high. Watch me squeeze oil into this thing. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It doesn't need to be fully submerged, guys, because we're going to flip it, but it does, there needs to be quite a bit of oil in here. It's not hot yet, so I can touch it. Probably need a little bit more. I'm using a 12-inch pan as well, which means I'm going to have more oil to get the appropriate depth. Just going to use the rest of the oil in this bottle, I guess. This is canola oil. You can use any kind of neutral vegetable oil.
Oh, is that high heat canola oil? You're learning stuff already.
So I'm going to show you how this is progressing now with the simmering while we wait for that oil to come up to the temperature. I'll go ahead and see how these potatoes are cooking. Still need a while. Probably can turn this up a little bit.
They said it's also a 30-year anniversary of Gundam Wing, which I'm sure Doa would love to talk about.
Yeah. I have limits, guys. So while we wait for this, let me go ahead and I'm going to change the camera angle over to this because we're going to add a bunch more ingredients. This is going to continue to cook for a while, but we're going to want to reduce it a little bit. And now is the time we're going to add our curry. So I'm going to show you the technique to add the curry. If you have curry blocks that are pre-frozen, what you're going to want to do is put the curry blocks in a ladle, fill the ladle with soup or the broth, and then put the curry block in here and break it apart with chopsticks and kind of stir it around. It'll get very thick, and then slowly incorporate. You can do probably 2 blocks at a time, but we're going to be slowly incorporating the curry into this. Since I am not using the curry blocks, I am in fact using the curry that is still, it's not very liquid anymore. You can see right here, it's kind of like, ugh. It is basically a curry block at this point in time, so you will get the full experience, which is we're going to dump some of it in here. And then you'll watch, it's going to turn into like a curry sludge. In our ladle, we get a little bit more liquid in there. And then we're going to let it be free.
Be free, little sludge, be free.
So this will help with uniform incorporation. And here we go. We're just going to do it over and over and over again. I dropped some curry into the oil. It's probably not great.
Oh, another first-time chatter. Scrotal fungi.
What a name. God bless you, Twitch chat.
Damn, looks so good. It does look really good.
Does it look as good as scrotal fungi?
Gross. I've never seen that kind of nozzle on an oil bottle.
It's pretty common in Asia. So you're going to see this start to thicken up.
There was a question for someone who is having their second kid. Do you have any advice for anyone having a second child?
I don't know. It's pretty much just more of the same. What about you, Susie?
That depends on how old your first child is. But I mean, I think the biggest thing is to make sure you give your first child enough attention, one-on-one attention, because they will feel like they've either been replaced or that you love the second child more.
We got pretty lucky because we haven't had any jealousy issues with our older kid. He's been like really chill.
It's a different type of jealousy. Like it came out in defiance, and it came out more towards us, not towards the baby.
Which is good. But we haven't had, I think we've had a pretty easy time of it, all things considered.
Yeah. But we've also made big efforts to, have Daddy and Max days, or, just one-on-one time with him.
We took him on a trip to Japan for his 5th birthday, which was just the 3 of us.
Yeah. So we're trying to, because he's actually said to me, like, Oma, you love baby more. And I'm like, this breaks my heart into 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, because she loves baby more.
I don't. I love them both the same. It's okay. You love Max more. Baby loves you more than me, and you're like, go away.
I'm not the biggest fan of babies, guys. It has nothing to do with this baby. It has to do with all babies.
Would it be better for you to pour a bit of stock into a bowl and then
You can do that too.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's really necessary. We're just trying to slowly incorporate it in here.
Oh, PP Doc. Our first, Max was 4 when we had Orion.
Oh, hey, PP Doc. PP Doc, can you check out scrotal fungus there? I think he needs some help from you.
PP Doc.
I think you guys might have something to talk about, PP Doc.
But yeah, the jealousy could or could not be there, but if you, incorporate him in your daily thing and make him feel useful and make him feel like a big brother who you need to have around, they might embrace having a little one around. Also, we have 2 boys, so I don't know how 2 girls works.
Probably different.
It's probably different, as our friends can tell you.
Okay, so as you can see, that we have been slowly adding stuff. We have reached a point where it's significantly thicker, and this is the purpose of the roux, right? Is to thicken this up, but it is mad thick now. Rich with butter.
God, that looks so good.
You'll get some soon, don't worry. We're going to add the apple. And we're gonna simmer this so our apple that we grated earlier, that's going in right now. We're gonna do a tablespoon of the soy sauce. So here's the soy sauce goes in, tablespoon of soy sauce. Tablespoon of ketchup. I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of the Worcestershire sauce.
We got a ketchup WTF.
Look, man, don't question ketchup and things. It's going to go in a lot of food we make here on this channel. People got mad offended when I put it into Chinese tomato eggs here one time. Hashtag deal with it.
Or your glasses. Your deal with it glasses.
Is this good for you? Is this tasty? Yes. Is this good for you? I don't know. It's a lot of butter. It's a lot of butter. What else do we need in here? Honey.
Right there.
I'm going to have to microwave this. We're going to do a quick microwaving of the honey because it's a little bit crystallized. And we're going to put a tablespoon of honey in here for a little sweetness. Remember, there is really no salt in here besides the salt we put on the onions and what is in the ketchup and the other condiments that we put in, the soy sauce obviously. So we're going to have to taste this. It probably needs like at least a tablespoon of kosher salt. It doesn't taste like anything because there's no salt in it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and add a tablespoon of kosher salt now. We can always add more. There's my hot honey. A little too hot. Tablespoon of honey.
Whoa, I'm telling Doa.
You're my hot honey, Susie.
Doa's wife is named Honey. It's actually Honey.
Oh yeah, looking good. All right, let's see what our
that looks so good.
tablespoon of curry. It is going to need a moment. We're still going to cook it for a little bit. I think it's thick enough. Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, me.
Doesn't need more salt.
Hold on. Ow! Ow! No, doesn't need more salt.
It's good.
No, this is perfect.
She's coming over. She's thieving my curry. It's very good, guys.
Yes?
But it is going to need a little bit of time just to meld the flavors a little bit. Curry gets better if it sits for a while. Susie, I need you to move.
No.
I'm sorry. You need to stop eating this right now. You'll eat more in a little bit. We're going to check the oil temperature real quick. So we'll move this.
Do you want the spoon?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to turn down the heat again on the curry. And that's just one of those things that's going to be really good. So I'm going to check oil temperature. So I think it's a little too hot right now, actually. Probably one at about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's like 400. I overheated it. Eee.
Is that curry in the oil?
I dropped some curry in the oil, yes.
Got it. That's what the brown spots are, guys.
Maybe like 350 is okay, but this is too hot right now.
Ooh, it's got a good amount of spice too. Like I feel it at the back of my throat.
Yeah, it's about half a teaspoon of cayenne. I think it's better with a little bit of the spice. It adds some more depth to the flavor.
I can do without it, but don't tell Monty.
I heard you.
Heard me say what?
I heard your heresy.
I could have done
The
with
cayenne heresy.
slightly less, but
The cayenne heresy is real.
you want to see if my parents are available for lunch? You made a lot of curry.
Sure.
I'm still holding out for a corn pizza stream.
You're going to be holding out for a long time. Okay, one of the things we need to do, I'm going to get rid of these are not necessary any longer, is we need to, now you should probably use a wire, like a baking tray, a baking sheet, and a wire rack. What I'm going to do is the MacGyvered version, which is I am going to use this wire rack over a plate. Wow. And I'm going to put that next to my frying station so that when I am done frying the cutlets, they can go here. And you ready for the greatest Katsu trick ever? You guys ready? Fry it twice. It will be so crispy. So what we're going to do is we're going to fry them once. We are then going to let it sit, and then we are going to fry it a second time. The first time you probably want 3 or 4 minutes per side. The second time could be like 30 seconds a side. It's just going to crisp it up super nicely, which is better in my opinion. It really does make the difference and makes it much more like restaurant quality, as if you had a deep fryer, which we do not have. And most people probably do not have in their houses.
I don't know. I feel like Middle America might have a deep fryer in their house.
I'm not gonna lie, I did look at some, I think like KitchenAid small deep fryers. Well, I can't see it, Susie, so it's a little challenging for me.
Ta-da!
She wants me to even out the cutting board, but she's not giving me the camera where I can look at it. I'll move it up a little bit. Perfect. All right. You guys look at that in the meantime. We have to wait for this oil just to get a little bit cooler. I just don't want to fry it quite at that temperature.
I mean, a big Dutch oven is basically a deep fryer if you boil enough.
I'm actually just going to turn off the heat for a moment, guys. You will have to keep stirring your curry especially once the flour's in there, because again, we don't want it burning on the bottom of the pot. But we do want the flavors to like meld nicely. And this is curry is one of those dishes where it's probably going to be better the next day. But if you do kind of need to let it sit for a minute. Let me check on these potatoes.
I can check them for you.
Wow, that's so nice. Potatoes are done. They easily pierce. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn the curry off. We just need it to be warm. So I'm going to sit it here and recover it. I'm going to wait. Whoops. A little curry on my thermometer because I poked a potato with it. Okay, oil temperature is coming down. The curse of using the cast iron pan is that it retains heat well, so it's not as reactive, so I can't just cool it down immediately, if you guys know what I mean. The blessing and the curse of the cast iron. I guess I could also just add a small amount of it. No, it's no, whatever. I have very little oil in that thing, so.
You watch the cleanup stream. Monty cleaning up the kitchen. If only Punko was good in the air fryer, but it's not. Apparently, it's finicky as fuck.
It doesn't really. Okay, it's at 350 now. I'm going to turn the heat back on a little bit because once we add the cold cutlets, it'll drop the oil temperature. But this should be a good temperature. 3 to 350 is probably good for our purposes. Now we begin. Susie, there you go. The frying, and you can see if you drop a piece of panko in there and it sizzles like that, that means basically it's ready. If you don't have a thermometer, and we're going to lay the cutlets away from us so we don't splash ourselves with extremely hot oil, which would be sad. Probably 3 at a time is a good number in here. Any more than that will drop the oil temperature pretty significantly, and also just overcrowding. And you'll probably want like, I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes per side. Looks like we have a good amount of volume of oil in there though. It's like coming up just around the edges so that we know it's high enough to kind of thoroughly cook both sides. And let's just kind of see if we check the oil temperature now, it should have dropped a bit.
Those are all very differently sized pieces of meat.
Yeah, that's
Does it
fine.
matter?
No, it's about the thickness. I could have one that's the size of the whole pan. So you can see it drop the temperature about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit. We obviously don't want to burn it, which is that's what we're trying not to do. But this is good.
Lunch outsider, what's a favorite fruit Monty's favorite fruit is figs.
Yep.
He loves figs. I don't know what mine is.
You like dragon fruit a lot.
I do.
You like watermelon a lot.
I like watermelon. I love dragon fruit. I'm a summer fruits kind of person. I like mangoes.
Okay, we're creeping up back over 300 now. I could cut the heat just a little bit. You should have a meat thermometer or a...
Is that 350 Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit. I'm American, guys. You're lucky I even give you metric measurements at all. I will not cave to your Celsius bullshit. I will not cave. The thing is, guys, Fahrenheit is so much more useful at temperatures at which people live, because all of a sudden I have to be existing in half degrees for weather. What is that? That's dumb. Look, for science, Celsius is awesome, but for Earth temperatures, shit is terrible. It's terrible. Fahrenheit's so much more precise at normal human temperatures. I don't want to hear this. I'm with you on metric, okay? Kilometers, cool. Grams, great. Liters, awesome. Celsius, bullshit. Okay, it's been 3 minutes or so. So we're going to check the side. Yeah, we got some nice browning on this side, so we're going to go ahead and flip this. Maybe not so much on that side yet. We'll give this one a little bit more time. I'm going to reverse these a little bit. Slosh around a bunch of oil dangerously. The big one went in first. So you see the egg has been binding the panko breadcrumbs to it, flour underneath. This looks really good. Feels really nice. There's a nice crisp touch to it.
Yum. Flip it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit more brown now. We like that. Just neurotically checking oil temperature right now. Okay, looks like we've stabilized turn temperature. It needs to be hotter.
On stream, it looks like it's not focusing on the cutlets.
Really? It looks pretty
But
clean on the camera.
It looks clean on my preview. I don't know. Whatever.
Whoops. How's it look for you guys? How's it, chat?
Yeah, it's weird. The oil is in focus, but not quite the meat.
Okay.
Oh, the random freezing was me tapping the screen, guys. I apologize. It wasn't a stream issue. It was a user issue.
Does this look okay?
I wish this wasn't more effort than I want to put in for making dinner because it looks delicious. I think it's just the stream blurring it. It's weird.
Let me try and get it so one of the cutlets is more in the center of the frame.
Oh, maybe.
Hold on, sorry guys.
Maybe zoom out a little bit.
I will zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe because the oil is moving, it's focusing more on that.
So, right here, guys, this one's pretty brown already. Remember, we're going to fry these again, so we don't want to annihilate them. So there'll be a chance to get more browning on them later, but that cutlet's looking pretty good.
Oh, I just made your butter chicken again. Excited to have a new recipe to try out.
How was the butter chicken? All those streams, guys, we're going to be redoing. I know it sounds crazy, but we need to have consistency with the new setup. So that's why. This one looks pretty good to me. Again, we're going to be refrying this, so not a big deal if it's not perfect right now.
Yeah, today is definitely an ASMR stream. Sizzling and stirring.
Like I said, you can speed run this by not doing the curry roux yourself, right? You can just get the packets of golden curry pre-made for your pleasure.
Yeah, that would have cut out like an hour of this.
Well, we also had tech issues, so.
Yeah, it's a fire element. You can definitely do this in a shorter amount of time. Or do the curry roux on a different day and then just make a...
Yeah, exactly.
that
Usually I would do the curry roux a different day. But I showed you, because like I said, you can freeze it. And also, but by doing the curry roux, now I just have curry roux forever in the freezer, right? So that step becomes unnecessary in the future.
Yeah, usually with oil, guys, we pour it into a mug and then we let it cool, and that way we could just dispose of it without pouring hot oil.
Yeah, you could reuse this oil if you wanted to filter it. So if you let it cool and then you strain it, because it has a bunch of these panko breadcrumbs in it, you could strain it and then use the strained oil probably 1 or 2 more times. I'm not going to do that. We like to be wasteful here on Continue Cooking.
Has anyone tried that powder that gelatinizes it? Apparently there's some powder you can put into the oil. And
Yes, I've seen that. That's interesting. No, I haven't tried that yet. I have seen it, though. It's like a powder that turns it into a solid. You don't have to do that for things like bacon grease, which will turn into a solid like animal fat, but it is useful for just like canola oil or cooking oil like we're using. The oil is a little bit too cool now, guys. That's why we're not getting, it's not going to cook very quickly, but I turned it up again.
is it like the powder that they throw on?
This is why deep fryers are just better, guys, because they'll just keep the oil at a consistent temperature. It's much more of a battle when you're doing it kind of the home cooking way.
Do you ever try using leftover bacon fat?
Yeah, you could, but you need, my God, you would need a lot of it for this. I'll, like if I have leftover bacon fat, I'll cook eggs in it, right? I keep it in a mug next to the stove, and if I need, if I'm going to cook some eggs or other stuff, potatoes, hash browns, that kind of stuff is great for that. So you definitely can. I definitely do. Okay, we're above 300 again.
Anime nerd Fred Durst looked it up. It's a polymer that absorbs to the oil.
Yeah, it's cool. I've seen people use it. Just gonna turn these around real quick because the center of the pan is a little bit hotter.
In general, if we want to use a fat for flavor in a dish, what would you recommend?
I don't,
Like bacon fat, tallow, duck fat, etc.
just use butter.
Just use butter.
Can't go wrong. Okay, well, we got one last recipe here for you guys because we maximize our recipes here on Continue Cooking. If I'm gonna be asked to set up all this junk for this stream, we're gonna get 2 or 3 YouTube videos out of it, and today it's gonna be 3. So here we go.
What are you slicing up now?
The cucumbers.
Oh yeah.
Now a lot of times with katsu curry or Japanese curry, there'll be some kind of pickled vegetable or pickled red ginger that's included. And the reason behind this is because you need something to kind of cleanse your palate and cut, like, think about how much butter we just put in that roux. It's very rich. And so having some kind of pickled vegetable is great. And so what we're going to make today is a pickled cucumber salad called Sunomono in Japanese. And it is made with rice vinegar, and it is absolutely delicious. So while we continue to fry this, although I am going to have to flip these now. These are looking good. I find usually the second batch of the katsu is a little bit better for whatever reason. All right, so what we're going to do, and we get all the ingredients for this out. So you want cucumbers with a lower water content, which I know sounds funny because cucumbers are like all water content. But this means you want these are Korean cucumbers, or you want Japanese cucumbers or Persian cucumbers, which you could all find at the store. You just want a more meaty cucumber, basically, so it doesn't all just turn into goop at the end. We are going to use a little bit of salt. We are going to use, this is miok, which is cut Korean seaweed, but it is exactly the same stuff as wakame, which is the Japanese version. So we're only going to use a tablespoon of this. So wakame is the Japanese name for it. Miok is the Korean name. We want the cut version because it's cut very small. We're only going to use a tablespoon of this. We are going to use some toasted sesame seeds. We are going to use some rice vinegar. We are going to use some white granulated sugar. And we are going to use just a little bit of soy sauce. This says kanjang, which is the Korean name for soy sauce, but just some plain old soy sauce is all we need. And we will use some kosher salt that I have in this salt pig. So these are the ingredients we're going to need. Just going to check in once again on my frying cutlets. Give them a spin. Get a saucepan out real quick. So there's going to be 2 parts of this. There's going to be the dressing that we're making, which we're going to heat up in order to dissolve the sugar. So in order to do that, let me clean out my spoon real quick. It has honey in it, so it's not cleaning out. in order to do that, we were going to do 4 tablespoons of the rice vinegar. And we heat this up just to go ahead and dissolve the sugar. So we're not going to boil it for any length of time, but we do need to do this. We're making something to pickle we're making a pickling solution basically to pickle the cucumbers. We're going to use a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. And a half a teaspoon of soy sauce. All that's going to go in there. We will put it on the stove and whisk it shortly as soon as it comes up to temperature, a little below simmering probably. Now for this, let me rinse out my tablespoon. This is going to expand greatly as seaweed does. So we really only need a tablespoon of this. Tablespoon. It's going to be a lot of seaweed actually. And we are going to fill this up with water and let it sit for about 5 minutes while we do some other stuff. So this is going to expand.
Stand chosen. Subscribe with Prime.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
And our Farley dude.
Thank you. Welcome back, our Farley dude.
19-month streak. Happy NFL Draft Eve to those who celebrate the great holiday of our time.
That's right. I'm excited. Hopefully I'm interested to see what the Broncos do tomorrow. The Giants are going to get our third pick. They're going to get somebody really good, probably.
Yeah. How'd that work out for us before?
Well, I think you actually will get somebody very good this time, so we'll see what happens.
How much time would making the Korean salad take if you weren't streaming?
I mean, it takes a long time to make the roux. I'm obviously talking and doing a bunch of other stuff. And also, I'm kind of doing things one by one, which takes longer. Like, I definitely could have made this. I could have already been done by now, is what I'm saying, basically. But also, you can do different things. So there's in the recipe that I linked, the curry base that we're using is a chicken curry recipe in which the chicken is braised in the stock. So it's more of a one-pot dish, and that's from Just One Cookbook. I removed the chicken and added the katsu because I like katsu curry. But you don't have to do it that way. You could also have saved yourself a lot of time by not making the roux, or making the roux the day before, which is what I've done in the past. So what I'm going to do with these cucumbers now is just pleasingly stripe them. So I'm just going to cut off strips of the peel. This is basically just for aesthetic reasons. So when we slice them up, we're going to have alternating peel and no peel. Get this out of the way of this camera. Right, just take a layer of cucumber off the outside. That's good enough, 3 on this one.
There was a rumor that Kadarius Toney was retiring to focus on his rap career.
Honestly, the Giants, you know, if they take what's that guy's name? Abdul Carter, I believe is his name, who's the edge rusher. You know, the combination of Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Abdul Carter is like, that's pretty scary as a defense. Like they could cook a little bit with Russell Wilson. Cooking with Russ. Okay, so we are going to. I'm going to put this on the small burner at the back. I'm keeping my oil hot on low right now, guys, because like I said, I'm going to re-fry these things. Hopefully I don't like start a fire or something. I'm going to check the temperature on this real quick. Yeah, we're good. All right. See how low I can go. How low can I go? Okay, so we're gonna keep that on low. In the meantime, we are going to put our dressing. I'm gonna move this camera. We're putting our dressing here. And we're gonna heat that up, and then I'm going to whisk the sugar in and cool it off. So, you're only trying to get this hot enough to evenly incorporate the sugar.
And you guys can see the Cinnamon Toast Crunch bag behind there.
Go away. That's my wife's junk.
No, I ration it out. I put a little bit of it in with their Cheerios so that when he goes, I want the cinnamon cereal, I go, yeah, it's here. And
okay. So here we go. This is, watch me, I'm going to use the mandolin now.
bye, Funky Pharaoh.
Susie?
Have a good night.
So we are going to mandolin the cucumbers, not that way.
Don't cut your fingers while you do this, guys.
What about me?
You're a pro.
So I'm going to use 2 whole cucumbers for this.
And bloody fingers in 3, 2.
Oh, God.
Will we ever get an apron-only stream?
Sure.
It depends on how many subs we get, guys. There needs to be.
Although I will violate Twitch terms of service if I go wash anything in the sink.
I'll get you 2 aprons. You can wear one in the back, too.
Maybe we'll do a special hot dad summer stream. Okay, back to this. We're going to turn this off right now because we brought it up. So we just let that sit. The purpose was to just whisk in the sugar, which is mostly dissolved. There's some on the side here. It's being very stubborn. I'll deal with you in a minute, stubborn sugar. No, I'll deal with you right now.
Oh, the Avs are playing right now?
Who's winning? I watched the last 2 games.
1-1.
Woo! That last game was a banger. What a good series.
Gabriel Landeskog is playing right now.
Oh, he is. He's back.
After rumors he wouldn't ever play again with knee issues.
Yeah. He had to have a cartilage replacement surgery. It took him 2 years, 3 years almost. They're back in Colorado now, too. All right. So we mandolined 1 cucumber. And now we will mandolin the second.
So scary. The sugar will rue the day it tried to hide on the side. Oh God, please don't cut yourself.
I'm not going to. We slow down at the end so we don't cut ourselves.
Use the little grabby guy.
How about I use my mouth? So when we're making cucumber salads, I'll finish chewing this first. Okay. So to the Sunomono, I'm going to add a teaspoon of kosher salt. And I'm going to mix it up with my hands, and I'm going to let it sit here for a few minutes. Why do we add salt at this stage and let it sit? If we do not add the salt is going to remove a significant amount of moisture from these cucumbers and also salt them, which is nice. But really, what we want to do is make them less mushy. If we do not salt the cucumbers and let it sit and then squeeze with our hands the excess water content out, it's going to basically turn the salad into a watery mess. So whenever you're making cucumber salad, any kind of cucumber salad, you need to do this step. If it's too salty, you can also rinse them off and then squeeze them out. But otherwise, the dressing will be drastically watered down and it will be crap. But we do want to let it sit once we get it all evenly incorporated onto the cucumbers. We do want to let it sit for about 5 minutes.
Oh, look, someone named Vicky says, hey, what's cooking? Good looking. XOXO.
Thanks, Mom.
Iceberg, and you actually went through with it. He has overstuffed his chicken nuggets, but they're in the air fryer. That actually doesn't sound terrible. Can you make us some pizza stuffed chicken nuggets, Christopher?
I got a recipe for me, buddy. Okay, so we need to let that sit for about 5 minutes while we let our dressing cool a little bit. Our oil is still hot. We're just kind of maintaining temperature right now on a very low setting. I'm gonna clean up a little bit while we wait.
When are we going to eat?
A little bit. You getting hangry?
I am. You have a hangry producer here, sir. I know. I will switch the camera here so that I can go and steal some cucumbers.
They're very salty.
Ooh, yeah. Where's that other apple? Maybe I'll eat that. I'll eat the other apple. Back to you, sir.
Back to me.
Yeah, can we watch a seaweed expand?
Whoa. Look at that. It's expanded. I'm going to cut it with scissors now. Because right now, these pieces, they're too big for my liking. So now we take the scissors and we scissor aggressively. Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness. By the way, these are kitchen shears, guys, not just regular scissors.
Yeah, these are kitchen shears.
Please don't use regular scissors.
Yeah, you can use regular scissors. Just clean them first.
Do you think gin pairs well with cucumber?
Yeah, I too enjoy Hendrix. Duh.
Cucumbers are so refreshing.
So overall, the seaweed is a lot smaller now. This too is going to have to be squozen to get rid of the excess water. We were just rehydrating it. This doesn't have any salt or anything in it yet, so it tastes very seaweed only. I'm actually going to wash out a bowl so we can put the
Score is still 1-1.
Fabulous. Let me clean off my cutting board a bit. Prepare ourselves for the gimbal shots.
The chicken looks ready. Well, it's not chicken.
It's pork.
And we need to fry it one more time.
Trust me when I say fry it again very shortly. It does make a big difference in the texture, the final texture. That is the trick I have learned from making this a bunch of times. Because if you fry it once, it'll be fine. But if you really want like that, the thing that's going to separate you in like terms of actually having a deep fryer quality, that will be it. So I'm going to go ahead and start squeezing.
The dedicated cooking channel is going to be youtube.com/@continuecooking.
Yep.
And we will continue cooking and putting more videos and content there for you. So please go ahead and follow that if you haven't already.
So use your very strong hand grip to squeeze out the water, all the water. We do not want excess water content in this because, again, it's going to dilute the yummy sugar, rice vinegar, soy sauce dressing that we have made. And look, if you can't get all of it in there, it's not a big deal. It's probably enough. Maybe get a little more. It kind of can be hard to grab, but it's more important that we leave some of the excess seaweed in the bowl rather than introduce more water.
Do you let the meat sit for a while?
I am letting it sit for a little bit, and then I will refry it. Normally you don't have to wait this long, guys. I'm just making this cucumber salad right now. Okay, so here we are. Now back to the cucumbers. As you can see, there has been water that is accumulating within this bowl. This is the water that the salt is drawing out of the cucumbers. And that's what we don't want in there. And there's going to be a lot more water because, as I will show you, we are going to squeeze quite a bit out. So grab yourself a nice handful of cucumber and squeeze really hard. And you might think this is going to deform the cucumbers in some ways, but it won't. So squeeze, absolutely, give it a few good squeezes. You can see the water is still coming out of there. Now I'll switch to the other camera. It's probably easier to see. You can see the water dropping into the bowl right there. Let me switch sides here. So I'm going to grab a nice big handful of these cucumbers, and I'm really going to squeeze them. And there's going to be a lot of water that comes out. I think we may need a better tripod there.
No, that works.
So as you can see, you're going to end up with what is kind of like a ball of cucumbers. Let's show it up here. Oh, you're going to end up with more or less like a ball of cucumbers. And then we're going to put it in there. And that's fine because it's all going to mix up. Yeah, there's a lot of liquid still coming out of these cucumbers.
Can you use a strainer instead of squeezing?
No, just use your hands. I forbid you from using a strainer. No, because if you use a strainer, it doesn't apply pressure. And if you're asking, like, should you use a fine mesh strainer and then like push on it with a wooden spoon, this provides, unless you are incredibly weak, this is going to provide much more force. And we really want to get that water out of there because otherwise the salad's going to be watery and nasty. So I'm collecting all of our remaining cucumbers that are in here.
Make sure you wash your hands before you do this.
Yeah, I wash my hands when I clean the cutting board.
I guess you could add extra flavor with your hand.
So look at this though, guys. Look how much extra water is not in those cucumbers any longer. This would have all diluted the sauce, like the salad dressing that we're using. So we don't want that. This is a crucial step, the salt and the squeeze, because now we just have a bunch of pretty dry cucumbers and seaweed.
Yum.
And now we can also add about half a tablespoon of sesame seeds.
How many subs for you to drink that water?
It's probably pretty good. Salty cucumber water.
You mean 10 subs.
Oh, right. It's not that that water is bad for you or tastes bad. It's just not part of it. So I'm going to add, you can use about half a tablespoon. I'm just going to eyeball it, see if there's a pleasing amount of sesame seeds in there. Then here's our sauce that we made, or salad dressing. I'm going to pour it in there.
P-Bug, thanks for the follow.
Now, we're going to give it a good mix in the dressing. Make sure everything is nicely incorporated together. At this point in time, you should really refrigerate this. It's just going to be better cold. You don't have to refrigerate it. Indeed, I'm going to be eating it unrefrigerated, but I would recommend, honestly, if I had been thinking more clearly, I probably should have just done this first and refrigerated it for an hour or so. But that's okay.
It'll still be delicious.
It'll be good.
Because we are really hungry.
I can confirm it is very delicious. I'm just arranging it. It's good.
Time for me to steal some. Oh.
It's good, yeah. I love Sunomono. It's a personal favorite of mine. I have fond memories of eating it as a kid in Japanese restaurants. So it has a lot of nostalgia for me. That, as kind of an appetizer, having some Sunomono and miso soup before your meal.
Yes.
So good. Okay, here we are. Back to the frying. This is our second fry. Checking oil temperature real quick. Make sure we're good to go. We should be fine. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to turn up the heat just a little bit. I've been keeping it on extra low just to kind of maintain temperature while we were doing other stuff. So I'm going to turn that up just a hair.
How come it's not sizzling as you did the first time?
It's not as hot, but also it's already been cooked. And it will start to sizzle, as you can see.
There it is. I hear the sizzling.
Yeah, it just
now.
needs to get a little hotter. So this is going to heat everything up again so it's all nice and hot for us. I'm going to get my curry ladle ready.
Yes.
You excited?
I'm so excited. Let me push all the producing things aside to make room for my plate. I'm ready.
You ready to watch me gimbal stuff? Oh, that's good. Because that's what's going to happen next.
No!
We got to do it for the gram. I know you guys don't really like the gimbaling, and I agree it's not good for the stream. But the thing is that for the edited YouTube videos, we need to get B-roll of the food, and for TikTok and stuff. So that's the reason behind doing it.
You gotta tick the talk. Wasn't that banned or something?
They were given an extension to sell, but they still have to sell.
Oh. I don't TikTok, so I don't know. But it'd be great for the Facebook group, because, you know, I'm boomer me. I'm all about that.
It's all about the book.
Of the face. I realized, I was like, oh, I could just take pictures and put it up on Instagram, and I realized my phone is being used. I cannot do that. Perhaps we need a fourth iPhone.
Nice try.
Don't you need a new phone, sir?
I think I'm good. Thanks.
Oh.
All right. Again, we just need a little bit more time in here because we don't want to burn stuff.
Oh my, there's a hard-hitting question. Is there a path to redemption for characters in the League sphere that you and the crew think are bad actors?
No. Sorry, once you start working with the Saudi government for sports washing, your path to redemption is closed. It's just so despicable. All right, here we go. So here's our first cutlet. Right here. So it's very crisp, which is great. Now, obviously, you can just serve this with Tonkatsu sauce, but, you know, I like it with the curry. Oh my, it is so crisp. Some professional grade crisp right there. Looks beautiful. Not yet. Slow your roll, Susie Kim.
Duh.
But don't slow your B-roll. So I probably should have told you to make white rice, but like, do that.
How do you guys like your ramen in terms of noodle hardness? I like
Firm.
barikata, which is extra hard. Yeah, al dente.
Good answer.
Al dente is, yeah. Oh, this looks so yummy.
So as you can see, we got a nice even brownness by kind of frying it twice. Just for maybe another 30 seconds, a minute per side. We did it a little bit longer because our oil wasn't up to temperature, so that's my bad, but it's whatever.
I wonder if there's a way I can
as I look, guys.
Fletchmaster 9000.
Felchmaster.
Felchmaster 22 months.
Thank you. Sub for finished food. All right, guys, it's gimbal time. So switch to that one. I apologize in advance. You actually don't have to watch the gimbling. Maybe Susie will make you watch the gimbling, or you can just look from above, or she'll switch it to me.
I will.
So I look ridiculous. But the purpose of this, the editors are going to get it no matter what, because we record all 4 camera feeds for the entirety of the stream, which is insane, but also necessary. But basically, the purpose behind this is so that we get the best possible content for you guys.
Do you need to take these out of the pan?
I just flipped them, so.
It looks like a picture restaurants would post on a menu item. God damn.
Love to hear it. Thank you for your. I assume that's good, so. Okay. So now.
It makes me regret what I had for dinner.
You don't have to regret. I know this one takes a long time to make, guys, but the result is really, really good. In my opinion, it is worth it. Uh-oh. Camera freaking out. All right.
I need an invite when I'm back in LA. Well, Revenge, we are not in LA.
Hey, Revenge.
Maybe when you come over to Korea.
The last time I saw you was in Korea when I was living here, dude. You were at our Thanksgiving dinner.
It's not working. Camera 2 is off.
Camera 2 is on. Camera 2, behave yourself.
Gravy looks amazing. That's not gravy. It's curry.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Do you even know what we're doing? The fact that you left the potatoes in whole looks really odd.
No.
It looks delicious.
How's it feel to live your life so wrong?
Camera 2 is still not connected.
Really?
Yep.
It's not great. It's not great news for me.
It's not great for the gimbal cam. But you guys can continue staring at the food that you can't eat. And I can't eat.
How about now? The heck?
You guys want to see Confused Monty? Troubleshooting, as we do here on Continue Cooking. Does the Sunomono need to be gimbaled?
Yes.
Yes, everything needs to be gimbaled.
I'm going to gimbal you soon.
I'm getting food vertigo.
Not getting any signal?
I'm not getting any signal.
That is a most perplexing problem.
That's weird.
Well, the good news is you guys don't need to have gimbal vertigo this time because I can actually just locally record it, so it's not that big of a deal for me. In fact, I can probably do it better.
All right. Well.
You can just look at me being ridiculous.
Ready to descend upon this plate. Yes, me too. I just, man, I have to wait for the gimbaling.
Okay. I have to wait for the gimbaling.
I have to wait for gimbaling. All right, you guys can watch him. Here we go.
It is cringe. You've been warned.
Behind the scenes gimbaling.
It's very awkward because I guess I don't have to have it hooked up. I was just hoping that it might start working at some point.
All right, we'll go back to the food. It's very awkward.
You haven't even seen me gimbling yet.
I've always seen curry poured over rice rather than next to each other like that.
This is the Japanese way of serving it.
Okay, here we go. Here's cringe dad with the gimbal. Here we go.
That's me, cringe dad with gimbal. That's who I am now, Susie. Do you like it?
I do. I love you, cringe dad with gimbal. Is the gimbal just not listening?
It is. I'm just bad at it, okay?
Such focus.
Such boys. Such craftsmanship.
Picture in picture. Gimbal cam.
And yes, guys, I know this is stupid, okay? Blame social media.
Steel Zeppelin, I'm sorry to have called you out like that. Okay. Curry is a term for a broad category of dishes,
Yes.
and we could say featuring a sauce or gravy seasoned with a blend of spices. That's where gravy came from. Waiter, the chef is being weird. The chef is staring at the food, sir.
Let me just make sure I got that. Okay. All right, thank you for your patience. While I gimbal some cucumbers, my wife can tell you how this tastes.
Yes! Thank you. Okay, guys. So crispy. And you can really taste. You salted this beforehand, right?
Yep.
The salt and pepper is perfectly seasoned. Now I will dip it in the curry. Oh. It's so good, guys. And it's got like a small amount of spice, even though I hate really spicy stuff. It's not really spicy. Some hot rice. Nice white rice to go with. Now they're just watching you move the camera.
I know it's dumb, guys, but I might also just be, I mean, this might be completely unusable. We haven't edited any of these videos yet, so I'm just trying to figure out what the editors might need.
The large ball of potato is evenly cooked. My chopsticks went right through it. It's nice and soft. Incoming more crunch. Ready? Super good. Cooked all the way through. Really moist inside and super crunchy on the outside.
All right, hopefully that's sufficient.
So much crunch, it sounds like a nose breaking. I do wish that we can share this food with all of you. Guys, I'm even going to take a bite of this cooked carrot.
Oh my god. She's punishing herself for you.
It tastes like carrot. And it's mushy, like a carrot. That's cooked.
Wow.
And-
Calling my carrots mushy.
And that's that. Okay. On to the tonkatsu. It is fantastic, though. Thank you. Let me get some of that pantan.
I'm gonna have some too.
You should. Do you not have to record the initial bite? All right, they can watch you take the bite. Revenge, if you're in Korea, come on over. We can make you another meal.
I made revenge Sichuan food one time.
Oh, yeah. Was that in LA?
Yeah. He can report on the quality of the Sichuan food.
This is probably my favorite tonkatsu that you've made so far. It's just incredibly tender.
Yeah, you guys can see how it's cooked. Hopefully I'm holding it up the right spot. Mm-hmm. Can I see, please? Mm-hmm. So it's nice and tender on the inside.
Would you mind if I used memes on the subtitles?
No.
Of course you can.
No memes allowed.
We are a meme-free zone.
No memes.
When Susie said evenly cooked, it reminded me of a meme from the show Culinary Class Wars. Yeah, go for it. We should probably watch some of that.
Yeah.
I want to.
Oh.
Fine, I watch without you. All right, back to you.
Now back to me.
How was it?
Haven't tried it yet. So good.
It is really good. Very rich.
And I know this is kind of a pain to make, guys, but the end result is incredible.
And if you had made the roux along with us, or will do in the future, now you have so much curry that you can make later. It's all in your freezer.
Yeah, the roux is solid, by the way, now that I put in the freezer earlier. So this is what it's going to look like. You can see that it has basically become a hardened brick. And the reason why we put the parchment paper or the tin foil in there is so that we can kind of easily lift it out. Did spill a little bit on the bottom, but that's fine. And it's all nice and contained, so we can take the roux out. And again, use about 3/4 of this, so I'm going to cut it into 6 blocks, or 8 blocks rather, and you would use 6 for a pot of curry of this size with the 4 cups of stock, right? I try not to hurt myself. It's very hard right now. So I'm trying to cut this into 8ths. So we have 4 pieces at the moment. Okay, there's 1, there's 2. Right. So it's a rough estimate, right? It's not perfectly done, but it's a little bit hard to cut that perfectly because it's hard and dangerous. So I have these Japanese curry cubes that I made previously. So you can see previously what I did was I made this, froze it overnight, and then used 6 of the 8 cubes to make curry like I did today. But I'm just going to toss the rest of these curry cubes in here and put these ones at the bottom. You can see these are going to be slightly different colors. This is because I used a different curry powder for this one. But once you have these, it's really easy to just make that curry again. You just heat up some vegetables and maybe some chicken, braise it in the sauce, and then add the curry like I showed you. The curry cubes in the ladle, introducing it slowly. You can also make a curry udon with these, which might be a recipe for later, sometime later, which is that you might use a couple of these in an udon broth with the noodles to make a nice like curry udon. So a more popular dish in Japan. So we end up with ta-da, 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 and then these just go back in your freezer.
Oh, the curry has a slow burn. Like I can.
Yeah, cayenne is great. It's one of my favorites.
It's like a damage over time.
But I mean, you can also cut that just by having a little bit of the cucumber.
Can you put the roux in an ice cube tray?
Sure.
From this angle, it looks like you're trying to feed. You're like feeding people. Ah.
Oh, good.
It is so good. How long do the curry cubes last?
Forever.
Forever.
It's just butter and flour and spices, and it's frozen, so.
Just bring it up to the camera. Let them have a taste.
Eat it. Eat it.
Ah. So there you go. I need more curry. I want to go get more curry.
All right. The curry is also nice because we make enough of the curry that you can put in the fridge. And the longer it sits there, the flavor will get better. It's like a chili. Curries, tomorrow this curry will taste even better. Now you just pop it in a pot and reheat it on the stove. You can add a little water if you need to loosen it up a little bit.
If it's too thick tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're going to have to change MooBot to have all the continue cooking
Yeah.
stuff for this stream.
I also need to change all the links below the stream.
Yeah, and this curry is like, it's spicy, but it's also it's sweet. It's very fruity.
It has the apple in there.
Yeah.
So. Tastes exactly like Japanese curry should taste.
MooBot making false promises about bangers only. Get with it, MooBot. Come on.
Get with the times. So, shout out to Just One Cookbook for the curry recipe and the Sunomono recipe. Love that site. Over the next couple weeks, we're gonna be using quite a few recipes from Just One Cookbook, as well as some physical cookbooks that I have, and we'll be doing a lot more Japanese food.
What's next?
So next week on Monday, our time / Sunday night your time, or early Monday morning if you're European,
Next stream is going to be Okinawan food. So we recently went to Okinawa. Okinawan food is very different from traditional Japanese food. We are going to be making rafute, which is a braised pork belly in Okinawan black sugar and soy sauce, and awamori, which is Okinawan liquor, which is kind of like sake, but it's distilled instead of fermented. So here's a bottle of awamori we got right here. I'll show it to you on the...
Perfect.
It's a bottle of awamori right here. So it's all cooked in, it's braised in that liquid. It's delightful, very sweet, really good pork belly.
And if someone wanted to do this and they don't have Okinawan black sugar, how
Brown
can they-
sugar
brown
and
sugar.
sake,
All right.
right? There are going to be hacks to the next one. So the other thing that we're going to be making is Okinawan soba. And this isn't buckwheat noodles like traditional Japanese soba. It's more similar to yakisoba, which is the stir-fried noodles, which are made out of wheat. The thing to understand about Okinawa is that it was much more culinarily influenced by China than Japan. It was a Chinese vassal state for hundreds of years. And so there's not actually a lot of seafood that is native to Okinawan cuisine, which is weird, obviously, because they're a tiny island in the middle of the Southeast Asia in the Pacific. And so, or is that technically the Indian Ocean? I actually don't know whether they're I think it's the Pacific. But basically, it's a lot more Chinese influence. So wheat noodles are more prominent there than the buckwheat noodles that we see in soba in Japan. Or ramen noodles, for example, are wheat. It is similar to ramen, the kind of dish we will be making. Speaking of noodles, I had to go to Okinawa to get Okinawan soba noodles. I could make the noodles myself, but that is a giant pain in the ass, and we are home cooks. It's been very difficult for me to find Okinawan soba noodle recipes in English. That has been a challenge. This is a very regional cuisine, but the upside is it is still good with dried udon noodles. So not the dried ones that I'll show you. The fully dried ones that you don't freeze or refrigerate. This is in Korean, but you can buy the dried udon noodles at Asian grocery stores or on Amazon. There's Japanese versions of this. This is just the Korean version. This is fine for the Okinawa soba. Is it exactly the same? No. The reason why is because Okinawan soba has egg. The noodles have egg in them, whereas this does not. But it will still make you a very good noodle soup. Okay, so we are going to be making some stuff that may be a little bit harder to find the precise ingredients for. Although, if you are in America, I do believe you can buy dried Okinawan soba noodles on Amazon. I do think that is possible. Here, even though I'm much closer to Okinawa, it has been impossible. But I also found some. The question is, where did I put them?
It's in the pantry.
I think so. Hold on. Ah, yes.
We got these at the airport. We got them at the airport.
Yep. So this is instant Okinawan soba that has dried seasoning packets in it. We will not be using those because I literally only bought these for the noodles. But as you can see here, this is what the noodles look like. We will be making our own broth, so we will not eat these, but fun that we have them. So I'll actually be making both noodles next week, and we will have a taste test.
Ah, it's Okinawa pasta, basically.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I think that'll do it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Please give a follow to the stream if you haven't already. And we will be back on Sunday night, America time, for the rafute and Okinawa soba in our celebration of Okinawan cuisine. And then after that, we're going to be doing some
other more traditional Japanese cooking. So including chicken teriyaki.
Yeah, teriyaki.
And that'll be, I believe, the miso soup is also that day. We also have a kabocha squash side dish lined up. And then we have a steak and garlic rice, which is much more like a hibachi style Japanese meal.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. It's like garlic fried rice with steak.
Yeah, I think that brings us into May.
Yeah.
And then, we will probably take a break for Children's Day because it's a national holiday here, and we'll have 2 kiddos running around. But then we'll be back in full force.
Probably with another couple weeks of Korean recipes, I would guess. If you guys have preferences, let us know. I haven't planned out those recipes yet, but I will have to do that very soon. I think probably it's going to be 4 days over 2 weeks of Korean recipes, including some traditional soups, grilled meat, that kind of stuff. So.
OMG Zombie Run said I literally got back from Okinawa 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's great. Did you enjoy the soba? It's very different.
I really love Okinawa. I like Okinawa in general.
It's great.
It's a really wonderful place, and it's only 2 hours away from where we are. So we were there 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we were there 2 weeks ago.
It's our second time there.
And we took Max to do all the fun things, and yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you again next week. Bye. Have a great weekend.